I think you're exactly right with what we were saying before about the need to have something happening.
Yeah.
Need to have something happening. That's like this entrepreneurial, creative. I don't even know what the proper like what do you call it? Explaining word for it is, like the descriptive word for it is.
Yeah.
But it's just like you can see it in other people as well. You can see it even when they're not in a position of entrepreneurship or creativity. They just have this like need to keep moving and doing things, and it's like a fire in them, like a passion, you know.
Yeah.
And like I met you for the first time as part of the
Bunbury project.
One Bunbury project. And just listening to you talking when you're explaining what's going on to me, a little bit about yourself, I'm like, oh, you're one of us. You know, that's such a interesting sort of trait to have organically. You know,
I think. Well, I like the fact that you say, "Oh, you know, you're one of us. Welcome to the group." It felt like you belong somewhere, and you're not alone. Although I'm like you and a lot of guys, we are lonelypreneurs. We get lonely, so it is not lonely when you got a bunch of us reaching out to each other and sharing thoughts and ideas. Having said that, on the part that you mentioned about keep going and all that, I think. I don't know about you, but for me, I have a bit of anxiety going on all the time, and probably a lot of people sometimes use it as a weakness. I think of it as a strength. Strength as in because you're constantly thinking, you're constantly finding solution to a problem at times.
Right.
And I think that's a good thing, because the moment you're always thinking, you are always also inputting for ideas as well. Like, I could drive to Perth. I do go to Perth a lot and listen to podcasts. That's the only time you clear mind. And a lot of ideas, even the One Mind project and a lot of things, or even copywriting, or when I drive, that's where I came up with the ideas. I use my Apple Watch now and just like, oh, okay, this message this, and when I go back, I start write it down and all that. So I felt that is gives me clarity, but at the same time, like I said, because you want to constantly, do something, you got also constantly learn something.
Yep.
Because your mind works both ways, in and out. You can't just out, but where the in comes from. So the in comes from also with anxiety, with overthinking sometimes, you are also overthinking input too.
Yeah, so, for sure.
But that's my point of view.
Yeah, no, I think that anxiety is like, it really like pulls on a few different threads that I think are really relevant to this experience. There's this like like the whole ADD thing is a bit over now at the moment.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure that I have ADD or ADHD, but I'm pretty sure I have the tendencies of whatever that is, and I don't want to know if I've got it.
Same here, yeah.
But this thing is like it's like putting nitrous in the tank.
Yeah,
like it's a super fuel, because it's this. I mean, I guess it's based off the inability to focus your attention in one direction for a prolonged period of time.
Yeah,
but that's awesome, because now I can have 10 things on the go at once, not just one.
Yeah,
and as long as I have the tenacity and the discipline to make sure that they get done, then it's almost like all right, I'm going to hyper focus on this thing for 20 minutes, and then I'm just going to completely disregard it and create all this space, which also creates an opening for creativity, for new solutions to old problems. I'm going to go over here and hyper focus on this and this and this and this. And by the end of the day, you're completely exhausted, but you look around and you're like, everything's done. Yeah. And then if you can apply that over a long period of time, then you start looking at, well, it's not just these activities or these little jobs that I need to get done. You're now talking about projects. Yeah. And I think the anxiety that you talk about fits perfectly into that, because that ties into the discipline to complete the task. Yeah. Right. So it's like, I need to do this because my name is on the line, because I've got other people's money on the line, because I've taken, whatever the risk that, you might be involved in. For you, it's this, you've taken on a massive project that involves 100 people at least, and you have people expecting you're going to finish it. Yeah. So, of course, that anxiety is a healthy thing. It's a thing that says, no, Ben, do the best possible job you can do. Yeah. And I feel like that's what's going on. Yeah.
I think anxiety, OCD, ADHD, whatever name that is out there, or I feel a lot of people see it as a weakness. I see it as a strength. I did the documentary, the drone thing, the 500 drones that fly in the sky. Man, the amount of OCD people they hire, they want, like, not to say in words, I want OCD, obviously not. But when because I'm behind the scenes to capture the whole thing, and then, okay, guys, if you have OCD, this is the time you bring it in now. Every drone, every propeller, every screw, every single thing on a drone for 500 drones, I want it perfect.
Yep.
I want it perfect, fly up, fly down, test 3 times, test 5 times, test everything, change the battery, every single, check and all that must be precise. Now, think of it this way. If you don't hire someone with anxiety, OCD, and whatever that you have, to do that job, man, it's dangerous. Because one small flaw, like even the space shuttle could go out, one small thing, tiny detail, because of the aerodynamic, the way it's burned and all going up there, one small screw sticking out, it fails.
Yeah, dominoes.
It dominoes effect. So you need someone with precision, and precision comes with normally a lot of artists and painters or creatives or engineers or architects or even doctors. They have OCD or whatever that is, that the attention to detail is so important, because one small thing, you cut a certain, thing in the body. I mean, you really need to be very careful. It's like, you want someone so laid back, it's okay. You see, you got time. No, it's not going to work. So all this is actually a strength. Because people get hired for that. When you hire a staff with needs ultimate precision, how the building was made, every single inch, and how the wind is blowing, and how the building could move if it get it wrong, or how it could be caught as a flag in a sail and all that. So that's important. So a lot of people, from my point of view, felt that, I got to find a way to do less of that. No, you empower that, you elevate the strength or weakness, some call it.
Yeah,
that's your strength.
Yeah.
So that's my point of view. Yeah.
I 100% agree. You want the person that pulls the thread on their shirt and instead of cutting it, sort of like goes, where does this start and end? I think it's really interesting. I've got a friend. We've been friends for a while now. He's a surgeon, and it's funny when I communicate with him. I'm like, you are extremely good at what you do, and you're renowned for what you do. But your social skills are at a 1. Like you'll be in the middle of a conversation, and he'll just butt in with something that is unrelated, weird completely stuff, disregard, and you're like, brother, what are you thinking about? But you know that when it comes to the process, the step 1, 2, 3, through to 1,000 to pull this joint apart and put it back together while you're unconscious, it's precision. And I think there's a good Hormozy quote that I seem to be hearing a lot lately, which tends to mean that it's sticking in your mind for a reason. The people who have achieved a lot more than you don't have something that you don't have. They don't have something that you do have. Right? So it's not that they have this special power or this thing. It's that they don't have the switch that you have to turn off and stop operating. They just keep going. That consistency, just showing up every day and doing the same thing over and over and over, as long as that thing has value, that is what compounds into extreme value. And it's like it's so easy to go like, oh, how come I don't have a G-Wagon like Geordie? And it's like, because Geordie never stops thinking about what he thinks about, exactly what we're talking about. And now you're seeing the end result of 15 years of non-stop thinking, which is beautiful. That kind of gives you a little bit of like, oh, okay, so if I find that switch and just glue it on, perhaps I can expect a similar result. Yes, you can. How beautiful.
And I think, it depends on where you are in life at the moment. There are people who have time, there are people who do not have time. For me, even if I have time, I make myself don't have time because I start taking on projects and doing stupid stuff or crazy stuff or things I've not done before to get that up. Now, there are 2 ways of doing it. The first way is, let me fix my weakness, or let me spend the time to fix my strength. I mean, if I have the time, I'll fix my weakness too as I go. But obviously, I don't have that much time from my point of view. Everyone's have their way of managing time. I'm not really good at that. So I just look at my strength. Like what you mentioned, I know a lot of academic guys, surgeons, accountants, and all those guys. Some of them are still good, but a lot of them, because they're so good at what they're mathematicians, to be a scientists, R&D guys, or I used to run a business with engineers and all that in the background. The thing about them is they are not used to working people. The EQ or the other social thing are not there. Now, they can try to fix that and they can improve a bit, but they're not going anywhere. So what they can do is, when your job is so freaking good at what you do, people don't look at the mistakes you say, like, Tess, is Elon Musk these days a bit controversial what he say, and I put that aside. He's a weird guy. We know he's a weird guy.
Very weird.
Very weird the way he say it, the way he dance, come on. But put that aside. He's a smart guy. He focused on his strength, and when he do a stupid dance, who cares, right?
Yeah.
Because his success in SpaceX and Tesla, whatever, is that way. So there would be weakness in a person in any way, but people don't see so much. Like when I used to shoot weddings and beauty portraits, I used to travel a bit, and I can be in a beautiful place like Santorini or Italy and all that. But the couple, there's no connection, or and the couple sometimes, or the brides, worry about the wrinkles on their skin. I said, it doesn't matter. If you love him so much, in a dream world where you and him, no one else is around you, and I made it that way. When people look at the shot, they feel I feel the passion, like say the Notebook, the story in the movie, and all that stuff. There's certain scene that you just get drawn into the passion.
Dude, you're making me tear up right now.
Sorry, yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, I feel what you're saying.
Would you look at the wrinkles? Hell no, you won't. Because you're focusing on the moment, the emotion in this world today. And even in the past, people don't realize that. Only emotion is the key to a lot of things in business and personal things. They don't see that. So again, going back to the scenario when two couples kissing like they're the last time, the last hug, you wouldn't notice, the shirt is a bit crumpled, a bit wrinkled. Come on, you don't. Even you see that 10 times, you wouldn't. Maybe at 20 times, I tell you, now you look at, where's the wrinkles, right? But most of the time, it doesn't. So where I'm going with this is, everyone has strength and weakness. I got a lot of weaknesses. It's just that I just focus on my strength because I don't have the time to work on my weaknesses. I will still work on some, like I'm fear of the dark, maybe a fear of the dentist and all that. You still work on that, but you don't want to spend too much time trying to fix things. Just change the car, just change the thing and move forward.
Yeah. I think there's a human aspect. There's like a real life aspect, because it's funny that this like example of the wedding photo, and it's like we've got the photo from our engagement party over there, which I've printed out and blown up.
Yeah, it looks good.
And there's something like there's all these little things like the necklaces on the outside of the shirt, my hair, and like I got the beard trim, but it's not exactly the right shape that I want, and but it
will never be right.
But the thing is, that's what makes it right.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what makes it real, and it's like when I think about that moment, because I remember that was a real like Putri, the photographer. I don't know if you know Palmsy at all. No. She shoots a lot of she does a lot of modeling stuff, but I remember she like pulled us away from everyone. She's like, "This is the moment." Yeah. And she just kind of like fucked around with us. Yeah. And then once we were in that spot where she's like, all right, now sit on the lead and just keep doing the thing. And I remember I heard the camera click, and as a creator myself, I'm like, that was it. Yeah. That was it. And when we got the photos, you go and do 500 photos and you're like, where is it? And I hit it and I was like,
that's it.
I zoom up on every part.
Exactly,
I'm like,
perfect.
This is it.
Yeah.
She did it.
Yeah.
She created this like mystique of like cheekiness and like excitement and being right at the right part of the party where you're a little tipsy but you're not too drunk and all these things, and it's I'm getting goosebumps talking about it.
Moments between moments.
Right.
All right. My flaw, a lot of people see that as a flaw. I see that as a strength. Yeah. Because of my anxiety and all that, I overshoot. Like even the 1 minute project, how many shots I take? I really don't know. I don't
it's crazy.
All right, I just need one.
I think you took like 1,000.
It is like hard work for the one goal you want in Olympics. All the things, it's the same. Now I overshoot not because I think, I'm no good. Like because I say, did I get it? Maybe it can get better. The moment I nail it, what if there's another one then? Not touch. You don't know what you don't know, right? So I keep shooting and waiting and waiting. When I know that's it. And then my anxiety might say, okay, what if there's something better?
Yeah.
Like, maybe I never get one again. But I'll keep trying, hopefully, to win another gold Olympic, Yeah. And another thing, you keep trying and thinking, that's the one. At the end of the day, a lot of times you went back to the shot that I know I nailed it. But having said that, you just want to make sure, like, I don't know about you, when I drove out from my garage, I closed the door, I look back, did I close it?
Oh,
then I drive again.
Don't start me on this. I drive around the block. I come back. I check the front door. It's crazy.
Yeah. I'm the same and I still do that. My kids say, come on, Dad, stop that. I'm like, because I live in my dream world so much that sometimes I don't know, am I imagining things? Because it's so routine that you see in your mind before you do it. So I just do that. So, but the anxiety is good in that way because, you keep doing that. So getting that shot, I'm that person, like getting it, throwing some stupid jokes and all, just to get you laughing and all that stuff. But when the moment hits, it's so worth it. Yes, I spent extra 2 hours to go through that shot, but that shot lives forever.
Yeah.
Or you could be the guy who almost got the shot.
Yeah, dude.
Everything is almost, and
What could be more horrible? Yeah.
You can't go back in time. Jake, can you go back again? Oh, we had a reception now. Jake, that shot, we did there. Can I do again? It's done.
It's gone.
Sun is set.
Yeah.
Things have done. Vibe is different now. We're partying now.
Yeah.
It's different. That time, that moment, that place, stars align. Everything is put to one place, and you better freaking nail it.
Yeah.
If you got 10 shots, hey, you got more chance of nailing it than with 2 shots, right?
Yeah. Wow. That's let's talk about that. You just said something then, and I'm not going to say again because I don't want to distract the idea here.
Okay.
Your One Bunbury project
Yeah.
is super unique. So I'm going to describe it with what I know about it, and
Thank
you can
you.
fill in
I'd
the
like
gaps.
to know how because you sat in front of my camera, so yeah.
The end product is a book that lives on coffee tables, essentially, anywhere from a doctor's waiting room all the way through to someone like my house, a designer's house, and it's sitting there next to Virgil's book and logo modernism and whatnot. It's that esque of book, you know, and you pick it up and you want somewhere between amazing, recognizable, influential, inspirational, more than anything, inspirational
That's
faces from Bunbury.
Yeah.
And it's 100 people that you're getting a quote and or short story to sort of back the quote.
No short story, up quote.
So
the short story comes from documentary later. Yeah.
Beautiful. So the idea is it's photo and quote.
That's it.
Of maybe someone that you recognize from Bunbury, all the way to someone you don't recognize, but also has an inspirational nature to them.
Yep.
Is that about it?
Yes, it is there, and it is meant to be. A lot of people, like say yourself, and you do a lot of things that people don't know the attention to details that you need to do for this. I sat with you, I sat with Jody, I sat with a few other guys, and to get the perspective. And it's so hard to balance. Like, okay, now if this book need to appeal to everyone, literally everyone. There's no such thing as everyone, but as close as you can, right? So from younger generation, older generation like to see something more timeless and all that, but younger want to be trendy and current and thick fonts and all that, which I like. I started with that, and that's what how we meet and how we accept. Like you can, and I don't want just accept. I want is like I like it, but I can see that where you're going, you're still not going all the way here. You still want to, you still got something. So, and that is important. Like and going to even the how I lay out the book inside. At first I thought, okay, maybe I put like say Jake and this is your business, your title and all that. And I think, okay, is it important for people to know your title? Is it important for people to know what you do? At first I thought, out of respect, I think if you have a certain title, it should, can be seen. But then I said, okay, wait, this is not about bragging rights, or this is not
promotion. It's not promoting
promotion. So everyone needs to be at the same level. So there are people who are high up the food chain and does a lot of amazing things, won awards. It doesn't mean people from the community who didn't submit or didn't get nominated for the awards is less. No, they're not. They've done sometimes a lot more, just not seen. I just met this lady, an African lady who plays for the AFL. She's amazing. She does so many charity work and all that. She got, I think, nominated for Australian of the Year, but she turned that down because she said, I don't want to take that trophy or recognition. You give me 2 other flights, I get another 2 ladies with me, and that is the person I want to put the spotlight on, not on me. So there are a lot of people who like to, so humble, like fly below the radar. So I said, okay, and I spoke to some, said, yeah, put a title, they don't know who they are. That's the point. I'm not after who you are, what you've done. I'm after what you can contribute to the community, your wisdom that you've learned. So I can speak to someone, and that did this and did that. But yeah, they didn't win an award. They didn't get recognition. But some people are good at getting recognition. Some are not.
Yeah.
So some are introverts. I said, there are some engineers, there are some mathematicians and all that. They do all the hard work, but someone else get the name for it. So it is how it is. It's politics. It is how the world works. But it doesn't mean we need to neglect them and just put the name that this guy achieved that. No, it's not about that. It's about what you're giving, contributing to someone that you don't know, and not just inspire, not just shift perspective, could save a life at the right time, right place. Yeah. You don't know. But sometimes people, like, again, I'm overthinking here. Sometimes we prejudge. I don't like you, Jake. You look like a too cool guy. You don't know what you do, but I'm not a cool guy. I'm a corporate guy. I don't respect you because I saw your title, your skateboarder, all that stuff. I don't. But if I don't know all that, I just like quote, hell, that's good. Then later I realized that, maybe our star, our vision not aligned. But the thing is, the wisdom aligned. The message you like to share is inspiring, regardless of who you are, where you came from, is not relevant anymore.
Yeah.
It is what you like to share. So I did this interview with someone, and then they said, but how do you, or some people feel, but I'm not worthy of the 100. I'm not worthy of, I said, this is the first 100, maybe 200, 300 in the future. This is just my start. This is edition 1. But put that aside, we obviously can't fit 1,000, and I know there's a lot more out there.
Yeah,
but it's only so much I can do at this time, at this place, because it's such a big project for me to take on. So put that aside. It is not just, it is what you can share, that what I'm after. That's what I'm looking for. So a lot of people feel that, I don't know. Then before the podcast, my interview for that, I speak to them, and I said, okay, assuming you are not part of 100, assuming all that is put out of place, just we having a conversation. All right, you go through things in life. What's the hardest moment in life? And then it's like sharing stuff. That, I think my skill is not just, I don't think I'm a best photographer in the world or videographer, filmmaker. I'm not. I think I think I'm good at catching stuff and connecting people. I get that. A lot of people have a lot of strength and weaknesses. I'm good at catching the strength. I'm like, that's good. Can you tell me more about that?
Interesting.
And then we elevate from there. It's like, I didn't know. Thanks for having a chat. So the funny thing about the interview that I have for my One Bunbury project is it started for me to being, learning from you. But for some reason, it didn't plan out that way. I realized I'm helping a lot of people along the way, even successful people who have been doing the routine thing in and out, because they are not staying in the box, but they're doing daily job. And when they stay in front of my camera and my interview, they've done so many interviews with the news and the radio and so on. But I said, Ben, the way you ask is just different, so personal. I said, yeah, that's the thing. You can't bullshit personal. You can't bullshit. You can if you're amazing actor and all that. Yeah. To extent, yeah. But most of us aren't. So when you start and genuinely, and they know because you're safe space, like me in here and all that, if you feel that you're in a safe space, they share everything. And I don't care what you say that is not relevant to the project. What I'm after is after you share that, you open up to the next thing. That's what I'm after. Yeah. And that is what needs to be elevated. And what you learn from your life story is so hard, or maybe you think it's not hard, but we think it's hard.
Yeah.
I like to share that because a lot of people can relate to your story. A lot of people say you're successful, but they don't know, like what you did, all the attention to detail to set up all this thing and your business you do and all that. A lot of attention to detail, and you keep finding ways to improve that. But people don't see the journey. People see the destination. You have achieved success, like you say, Jordy and all that. Yeah. A lot of people see, you're so successful now. You do this, or this guy did this. Yeah. But they don't know that. So my role is not just business. My role is I want to make my business purposeful and meaningful, impactful, to know that let me help you tell your story in the way that you take people on a journey. So people have so much more respect, love, and understanding of what you achieved. They want, so like, if you're a celebrity, that they want to make you look a certain way, you look on the street like, hey, you are a famous star, I know you. Well, you don't know, it's just you just see what is shown. Yeah. But a lot of times you felt like you know a person without actually meeting before. That is the thing behind that, to show that journey. And the journey for me is important. And then it started with a book. I said, wait a minute. All the videos I capture about the storytelling is go to waste if I don't share that, right? So a certain part that relates, only what is related to that quote that you share, that I felt it's okay to share, in public. Yeah. I'll just take the best part and just build, because there's 100 people there, all right? Every small parts that I take, I put together, and that should be an inspiring thing as to lead to that quote, which is the quote. The book becomes the destination. Yeah. The documentary or the video is the journey. And when I first started, I pitched, because I needed funding, I needed support. I got a few disappointment when the funny thing I want to share is really fun, not to mention names and all that. I went to a few people. The people that you think will support you will not. Sometimes the people you least expect supports you.
Brother, tell me about it.
It's like, what? This is a thing I keep learning. And I know that at times, but I forget. This is a good reminder that sometimes people that you don't know is way better because they don't prejudge you for what you've done in the past. At times, you've done the stupid things. Oh, so Jake, this person is always the crazy thing. Always do this thing. No, it's not about that. But it's about what you're doing now because they don't know you. And the thing is, if you pitch your idea to someone you don't know, but you got a solid pitch, like literally solid stuff. But, it doesn't work. So that's one thing that I learned. And the other thing is like when I see all the hype things that, this guy will support, and I go to this guy and this guy said, it's not good. That was one of the one that I went back. I don't know. I felt down. I've never pitched that felt big. When you got so much expectation to hear all the good things about certain person, and then you reach out, and then suddenly you said, okay, there's certain things that needs to be done.
It's like meeting your superhero.
Yeah.
You know?
And then you expect this, but they're that. Because this is the real thing. When in a meeting room, everything is closed. It's a different thing from what you see out there.
Yeah.
All right. So, man, I was hit hard. I was like, I can't believe because I expected too much. This is one of my mistake. I overthink in a good way. Sometimes you need to overthink in a bad way. Like, I believe in this quote, like it shared a lot. What is it? Hope for the best and prepare for the worst or something like that. Yeah. So that is the motto I try to live by. So you set expectation lower, but you want to hit high, sort of thing. But if things go wrong, like on a wedding day, I got 2 cameras. Even 2 cameras fail on the same day at one wedding, same time. Never had that before. So now if I don't shoot at a wedding anymore, I normally, when I travel for weddings, especially 4 to 5 cameras.
Really?
4 to 5. 2 is always in my backup.
The
third one is close to me if I need to grab if 2 fails. I got multiple lenses. I got multiple batteries, even multiple chargers. If that failed on me, I can have another charger or charge direct from my USB if I have to. Multiple flash, multiple light stands. I overpack until my whole luggage. Like, Ben, what the hell you brought that? It's like backups for backups.
I got 2 shirts.
I wish I could travel like that. I wish one day I would, but I don't think I ever would because even the smallest camera. Recently, I went to Africa and this certain part that I was a bit worried that it gets robbed and all that. And so what happens is I can't bring all the big cameras, so I bring multiple small cameras. Even the small cameras, I'm worried to get missing or I get lost or get confiscated and
just something.
Something could happen. So, but if you go all the way to a country and you only have one camera and you lost the camera, get in the water, drop the camera, what are you there for again? You can't go back in time. And you're a place you can't go to shop and buy a camera. There's no place to buy a camera. This is rural stuff. You can't. You with your phone. I mean, that's the last resort, I guess. What if your phone is taken? Not to say I got dual phone. I only got one. But having said that, I again, when the anxiety is good for you, that you got backup. Oh, the OCD anxiety. When you got backup, 4 backups, if I'm gonna have hired 3 guys, right? Amazing work. Love your work, but you're so laid back. Good, but I love your work. You're good. Oh, brilliant. Ben, you're not. You're good, but he's better. But man, you deliver. You execute. You deliver. Rain, storm, I'm out there. When the couple ask me, oh, it's raining, it's flooding. Do you think it's? I say, man, I'm here for you. I got multiple cameras. If that gets burned, that gets dropped in the water, it's fine. I got insurance. Even not, it's fine. It's worth it. I'm here for that. I'm not here to hide in the rain. The more dramatic it is, the more natural disaster there is. I'm out there with you and I will be with you because that's the best shot that no one else will take or consider taking. I'm there. I would actually ask you, are you okay with the wedding dress getting dirty and wet? Because I feel, again, these are ones that you can dry it off later, but that shot, you will never get a shot.
And also that is that moment.
The moment. Right time, right place. When stars align, I tell you, that is your star align. When things go wrong, that is your star align.
You've touched on like 30 different points. And I love that. I love that. I think the one thing, and I think this may have even been one of the quotes that I gave to you for the project, which is you live life as if life depends on it. I say this all the time on the pod. It's like when I have people who are, on their journey in business or entrepreneurship, whatever it is. And it's like, if I can give you a good piece of advice, because it doesn't matter what you do, photographer, t-shirts, bullshit.
Yeah.
Just do it as if your life depends on it.
Yeah.
Because regardless of what you do, it requires having customers.
Yes.
And if those customers see that if I come to you to have my house cleaned, if I come to you to have something edited, whatever it is, if I come to you to go on your podcast, if I know that you fuck with it, then I fuck with it.
Yeah.
And I'll pay for that.
Yeah.
You know? And I think that's where you go, like, you know, there's 3 of you in the option, and this guy's really, really good, and this guy's really good, but he's got 6 cameras for a job that takes 1.
Yeah.
Well, I know I'm going to get what I'm paying for.
Yeah, you will. Know? You will definitely get what you pay for. Maybe even better at times, hopefully. But it is the confidence that you know that he can deliver. Like I've been to a long time ago to Iceland, and the plan is to, you know, most of the time when I travel, sometimes I do get some good accommodation because a couple paid and let me stay wherever they're staying. It's a beautiful place. I love that. But there are times where clients said, okay, we are going. You know, we are sort of a hiker kind of vibe. You know, we like to camp and all that. Okay. I know it's not 5-star. We're not staying in a hotel. Will you camp with us? I said, hell yeah, I would. Let me go to Kmart. Honestly, I can't remember the last time I did camping. I think I did camping when I was a kid, and Scouts like forever. Yeah. All right. So I don't know about tents. I really don't know about tents. So I went to Kmart. I saw his clearance section, $12. I bought that. And I brought that to Iceland.
Don't sleep in that tent.
Anyway, then we start set. And then when we go to the campsite, our first campsite, everyone, you know, like a fashion sort of tent. It's like so cool, No, it's not glamping, but it's still a tent. Yeah, but you know, this is like branded tent. I didn't know all that. I thought it's a tent, right? So I went there. Then I'm the only one who actually combined sticks together and make it look like steel, like a tent, like literally old school Scout tents out of that tent. So I said, Ben, what? That's cool. I said, yeah. I didn't know about that, so I got that. So I'd be embarrassed, and will it hold with the harsh weather? Like, well, we find out. I don't know. So anyway, going through that, and then after that, the first day was interesting because my tent, the dark green sagey color tent, was the only one that's one color. I think everyone's like, "Oh, so cool!" And mine's really, really. Anyway, I live with that, but I got all layer and all that stuff. Put that aside, it's done. And then the next time, I think I was there for a couple of days, 5 or 6 days, I can't remember. That's the only time we all use a tent. After that, it was pouring. It's summer. It was pouring. It was wet. You can't pitch a tent anyway. So they got like a Yaris and stuff. I don't know, like small car. I said, Ben, because we didn't plan for all those hotel staying, motel staying. We planned for tent. So as and when we go, we hope the next one we can pitch a tent. But till then, we all sleep in the car. I said, not the most comfortable thing. But wherever you do, I'm with you. I'm here for the experience. I'm not here to have a luxurious accommodation. I'm here to live your life how you would be. And I like that. Yes, it's not the most comfortable thing, sleeping with 2 strangers, a couple, and in like a Yaris kind of small car. A bit uncomfortable. It gets a bit too personal at times. When they put the seat down, you literally all the heads are pretty close to each other. But put that aside, uncomfortable. But put that aside, it was such an amazing experience. And after that, we didn't even pitch a tent after that. Towards the end, it's a funny thing. Then they pack up the tent. I said, I don't bring it. This is a disposable tent, $12. He said, what? You bought $12? Yeah, it's a clearance part. I just take it and I got it and I just chuck it out. But the thing is, then I feel I still got back space. So I brought a disposable tent back home. Why? Because I can. I go, wait, maybe I keep it as a memory. This went to Iceland, came back alive and still in one piece.
Dude, you know what's funny? I threw out a tent that I got given. You know Newton Moore, the school?
Yeah.
So I had a friend, his dad worked at Newton Moore 30 years ago. They replaced all the tents at Newton Moore, and he gained a handful of these tents, and I was at his place. This is when I was like 21, so 11 years ago. And we all went camping, went down south, and I was like, I've got a sleeping bag. And he goes, you don't have a tent? Oh, he goes into the shed and pulls out one of these tents and gives me this tent. He goes, there you go. It's got Newton Moore written all over it, And I used it maybe, I don't know, a dozen, 20 times, something, And it was one of those tents where, like, typically, you sleep in a swag when you're camping because a swag's sort of a tent in itself. But every now and then you'll go somewhere and use a tent. We went camping 2 weeks ago, and I pulled this tent out. I'm like, I'm going to take a tent because that's hilarious. And obviously the Newton Moore tent is just even better when you pull it out. Everyone's like, what the fuck,
and the logo is still there.
Yeah. And I pulled it out and it was full of mold. I was like, man, I got to throw this tent out because you're not going to you know.
Okay,
dude, you got to wash it. It would disintegrate. It would fall apart. It's so old. But it's funny you talk about a disposable tent, because I've always thought this is a tent that I'll use until it doesn't work anymore, and then I just won't use tents anymore. But funny, just the most basic tent material, canvas bottom, you know, the things that you piece together and it looks like an actual tent. Yeah.
And well, they use it for the army and use it for all these things last time. It works. It's just that it became trendy with a new thing.
Oh, dude.
Now imagine this, and I'm that person too. So what happened is you could buy, you know, if I know more time, if I know a bit more camping, if I know the thing about a lot of my trips is I don't have a lot of time to plan. I'm like in and out. And I was like, oh, next, I'm not going to buy a lot of things for one trip and then go another trip, because I do travel quite a bit. So I can't keep buying new things for that. But sometimes I do camera bags because I love camera bags. Put that aside. Like if I have all the time in the world and I waited a whole year for a trip that used a tent and I got money, I'm like, oh, that branded tent is $500, $300. Then look at the features and benefit, the host water, and I could buy that stuff. All right, but I didn't have time. And I don't know about that.
Yeah.
So it turned out to be good. But if I do, imagine how I set up. Oh, it's precious. Oh no, it's raining. It's going to touch my tent.
Yeah.
What if I accidentally, you know, someone accidentally kick on my tent? Oh, your heartbreak, there's 50 cents gone.
You
don't think that, because it's $12 on clearance. And if it's destroyed tonight, that's fine. I'll just find another one if I can find the cheapest one over. So the tent is meant for like the certain car, like it get you from point A to point B.
Yeah.
All right. Do you need an amazing car? You don't need to, but you can have one if your passionate car is fine. Yeah. But if you feel that you just want to get from point A to point B, you just get something that works. You don't have to worry about it, because the car is a tool, a camera is a tool, and all that.
Yeah.
Better in mind, I still buy expensive cameras and I still treat it like gold and all that times. But when you use a few times, it becomes a tool after that.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing. When you don't think about the value of the camera and all that, you focus on the job, that's when it's meant to be. You focus, oh, my camera's supposed to shoot this way. No, you don't shoot. The camera don't accommodate to you. The camera don't accommodate to you. The camera accommodate to you. You don't accommodate to the camera.
Right.
So just like how you buy your new things and could be calligraphy and all that, it needs to work with you, align with you. So you pick the tools that align with you. The tool is so good, but it's rated 5-star, 10-star, and all the things. I buy that. It doesn't work for me. It's going to change the way I ride.
Dude, you're talking about a mixer that came off Marketplace. These are both off Marketplace. These are borrowed by Jordan. You know, these were on sale, and it's like, I need something that records HD. You know, does the high quality audio, and it's like, right, it's not about the bare minimum.
Yeah.
It's what does the job.
What does the job?
You know, even my van is a $6,000 Toyota Hiace. I was at the right place at the right time. It was backed out with a star picket scratched down the side. But you know what? When I put the key in and I turn it, it turns on. And when I go camping, I put a mattress in the back. And when I need to deliver boxes, I put boxes in the back. And when I want to take my bike, I put my bike in the back. And when things happen, you're just like, I'm in the middle of life.
Yeah.
You know, if something happens to the van, I don't fucking care, because I'm doing it. You know? Yeah. And it's like, I think there's something, I don't know, I'm not at all being negative about it, but my dad has extremely high expectations for things. Yeah. Right? So he's got a crazy list of cars that he's had, and all of the cars are immaculate. Yes. He doesn't buy it if it isn't immaculate. Yeah. He doesn't want it if it isn't immaculate. Yeah. His house is immaculate. Everything is perfect. Yeah. And sometimes, you know, like my stepsisters have kids, and their kids go around there, and you know the kids are mucking around and they're running through the house, and he's and it's like, brother, we're in the middle of life. Yeah. This is it. Yeah. This is why you have the stuff to do the things. Yeah. You know, if you're in the middle of things and you're worried about the stuff, what are we doing? Yeah. You know? And I completely understand, like, he has worked extremely hard to have that. Yes. But I think one thing that we kind of keep dancing around is the skill to be able to appropriate what is actually happening. So the skill to understand that your anxiety is your strength. Yes. And to, when it happens, don't go, oh no, I don't want to be someone who's anxious. You go, how can I solve that problem? Yeah. How can I pull that in and let whatever I'm anxious about get better so that my end result is crisp, is perfect, is exactly what actually, it's better than what I expected I could do, because I focused on it for so long, and I let that feeling that the world might end if I don't solve it become the catalyst to solving it. Yeah. And I think that, you know, in the instance of my dad, it's like, yes, we have all the nice stuff. for these kids to enjoy.
Yeah.
Yes, we've got the really cool car.
Yeah.
Let's go drive it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I think as his son, I mean, and this is what we do with our parents, we try and look at all the great things and we do more of that, and we look at all the things that we don't like as much, and we do less of that.
Yeah.
And I think the thing that I really take from Dad, and he hangs shit at me for it, you know, look at your old busted up van. I'm like, oh man, I'm living.
Yeah.
I'm living, you know?
Exactly.
And I will have the nice car.
Yeah.
And you watch me do burnouts in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, because that's why you have the nice car, you know? So I think it's such an interesting snake eating its tail.
Yeah.
When you just try and zoom out of your like, all right, now I'm making this decision to buy this. I did it with my push bike. I've got this absolute beater of a push bike. It was $800. I've replaced every single part on it except for the frame, and I love it.
Yeah.
And then I came across this this SE Ripper, which is like a brand and model of bike, and I was like, this is the premium version of my bike.
Yeah.
Have to have it.
Yeah.
And I bought it, and I never ride it.
Yeah.
Because it's too nice.
Expensive. Yeah. It's because you dare not wreck it. You just
now I ride my other bike and I thrash it and I drop it, and something breaks and I replace it, and and now it's like when my friends need a bike to ride, I give them the really expensive bike to ride, because it's
and
like,
then the best part,
dude, it's like,
it is like that, yeah.
so interesting.
It is like, just to on your dad's side, I feel I'm a bit like that at first, and not at first. Sometimes I do, not because I value the price of the car or value the price of certain things I own, but it's because sometimes of the OCD thing that I have, that when I have a scratch on my brand new Leica or Hasselblad and whatever I have, my eyes get drawn to that scratch because I'm that detailed. And it affects how I think. Oh, damn, kind of thing. It's not so much about how much I buy it, but everything new. All right, you look at that. Oh, that's it. So what I did was I shift perspective. I move on, look at the things and different things. I focus on subject. And so you, just like what I mentioned about the wrinkles of the couple and ladies and all that stuff, when you got something more amazing, you disregard that. The thing about my point of view of that is sometimes he didn't know how to look at this part, something more important and something more amazing, that you still see that if you don't have this. You need to shift your focus perspective to that. And I have that problem. I have that problem. So what I did was I just look away. So, and a lot of times, like, things bad happen, like, my cancer journey and the things that I've done, crazy things I've done too. I look back like, why all these things happen to me at the right time, right place and all that? Because it's meant to happen to you at the right time, right place, for you to open up and realize things. If I give you one incident, you fall down or some shit happen, and I was like, nah, it's okay. And the second thing, wait, I'm seeing consistently 3 times a bad, right? No, 4th time, 5th time. What's happening here? It's someone or whatever is, I will remind you, there's something here.
Hey, pay attention.
Pay attention to this part here, all right? You're not getting it yet. Something happened until you freaking get it. Yeah. And I didn't get a lot of things. I was in Europe a few months, last few years ago, and the things that happened to me, a lot of things, unspoken, I didn't share and all that, but it is too personal. But put that aside, when I start connecting the dots, and the people that I spoke to, initial interview was business, everyone went personal with me. I didn't know that I'm projecting a certain vibe. Yeah. Or sometimes the things that I ask and share, there's a hint of thing on how I'm feeling now. They caught it. So anyway, everyone gave me direct or indirect advice, and it helped me in my life a lot. And they are strangers I met for the first time.
Vulnerability provokes vulnerability.
Yeah. And it opens up a lot of doors for me. And the thing is, when things happen, a lot of people forget, like, it's not rocket science. I didn't come up with this. A lot of we are in the box, we need to step out. But that's what we tell ourselves, but we didn't do it. How we do it is like, okay, wait, let's list all the things that happened. What was it? How did it happen? How do I prevent it? But it's not how I prevent it. Why is it happening again? Why the second thing happened the same thing again? What went wrong? Wait, I think I need to fix something. I need to improve something, that my personality or something I did wrong. I need to fix that. Yeah. What is my thing? So when you open up, you open up the door, your barricade, your walls, and then you start seeing how you can improve yourself. Because a lot of times that you keep, I'm sure you have friends or you yourself at times, or myself at times, that when I tell you my problem, I share my personal problem, it's like, I'm not sharing. I'm telling. I'm whinging. I'm just putting out there, but with no recourse of you getting back to me or giving me a suggestion. I won't take it because my mind is stubborn. I'm blocked.
Yeah.
But the only way to unblock that is to open up. And the way to open up is step back and look at, okay, what went wrong? If one person said it's your problem, maybe it's wrong. 2, 3, 4, 5. Come on.
Dude.
Common sense, right? You got to look at stuff. It's giving you hints. There's this story, this funny story about, I heard years ago from my coach or something. It's a joke. So there's this flood going on, the flood all the way up to the roof. In this country or wherever that is, it's a cartoon and all. So it floods to the roof, and then the boats came. There's everyone, who it's not going to work. The flood is going way above the roof. Everyone going to get drowned. Hop on the boat we have. First boat is full. Then it's like, no, I'm religious. God will save me. Blah blah blah. Okay, fine. You do you. Then the second round it goes higher now to the feet and then the boats went back few times, less and less people. Finally, the boats don't come anymore. All right, so he died. So he went to heaven or hell, wherever he belonged. And I said, God, God, yeah. So he thinks he go to heaven. So God, I believe in God. I believe in you. But why do you let me down? Why did I die? God said, you know how hard because you believe in me, I sent 5 boats for you.
And you said no to all of them.
You keep turning down. I gave you. You just don't understand. God help those who help themselves, or not about this, but it's sort of the same thing towards the side. I give you 5 chances. All in a way in your life, you look at 5 things, 4 things, 3 things happen consistently towards you.
Yeah.
Is it, well, that's where I overthink too. Is it because you needed it to happen to strengthen your core, your resilience? Or many times, maybe not so much that, maybe that's it. But also to feel that maybe you should pivot or figure out alternative now. It's not going to work. You fall down 1 time because of that rock. Fall down 2 times because of move that freaking rock.
Yeah.
So that is what I see. Yeah.
Dude, I see it in my personal experience. I see there's been 2 standout things. I had a really crappy relationship and I had a really crappy job.
Yeah.
And on the worst day that I have in this house doing what I do right now, I always reflect on those moments and I go, hey,
how lucky.
Get to fucking work.
Yeah.
Because you're in heaven right now and you're finding problems with the color of the sand and the color of the sky. Like you just need to, and it's funny because I remember being in the middle of specifically the job.
Yeah.
They actually happened at the same time. But I was in the middle of the job and I would start night shift as a truck driver and I'd call as many people as I could before 10 o'clock. Yeah. Because you could talk to people, you could, kind of pass an hour with a conversation. Yeah, sweet, great to talk to you, hang up, call the next person. Hey, how are you? Right. Oh, I'm having dinner. I'll call you another time. Then you get to 10 o'clock and I'd have all these ideas and I'd pull up the truck and I'd write down all the ideas. And then, it hit about midnight and it was the same cycle every time. And I worked exclusively night shift for about 6 months because I hated swapping from days to nights. So I'd have this same cycle. I hit 12 o'clock and I get depressed. I'm like, it doesn't matter how many people I call, they go to bed. It doesn't matter how many ideas I have. I can't do anything with them. And it doesn't matter what I do. Yeah. I still have to drive this truck every night until I decide not to do this anymore, which is either going to be when I retire or when I come up with a better idea. Yeah. And at that time, you're like, well, what's better than making $2,000 a week? Yeah. What's better than what do you think is possibly better than this?
Yes.
You
do what you love.
Dude, when I'm not going to go into the story of how we got from there to here, but there was somewhere in the middle there where I realized that, I kind of left truck driving. We saved up enough money to live in our caravan. And we're in the middle of running out of money and deciding whether I had to go back to work or do something different. And I'm like, I got to do anything different. Yeah. Because if I go back to that, I can't do it forever. I can't. I hate myself. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, you're like, that was the reason. Yeah. Because now I know what I don't like. Yeah. Yeah. Now when I make the next decision, it's very simple. It's not that. Yes. I don't know what it is, but it is not that. Yes. And I can go, it's about the work at night shift. It's about being away from my house for 13 hours at a time. It's about, feeling this overwhelming sense of desperation that I need to be doing something that isn't this. It's like, cool. Now we not only know what you don't like, we know the elements of the things that you don't like. So that then wipes out a whole bunch of other things. We're not ever working shift work. We're not ever being stuck in a seat. We're not ever going to be steering anything because all these things I know I don't like. Yeah. And then you can almost drop the resentment that you have for yourself for doing that thing, because it's all good because we took something from it. We learned from it. We're progressing.
It's a lesson that you need to learn.
And dude, like, it perfectly aligns with my relationship with Larissa, because I know every damn day why I love her.
Yes.
Because I know what the fucking devil looks like, Ben, because I was in a relationship with her, you know, and it's like, as long as she ain't that, we're winning.
Yeah.
We're winning. And this is exactly what you're saying. You trip over once on the stone, you trip over twice, you're over the, move the stone.
Move the stone.
Move the stone.
Don't say, God showed me the way. Yes, God gave you brains to think.
Exactly.
So you use that brain and solve that problem. You shared something about, I can't solve a problem. I go to sleep for next day, You see, one of the reason I do the One Bunbury book is because I am looking for stuff like that. So I don't know, you probably know Joe Hader from the Joe's Pizza. He recently passed away.
Yeah.
He said the exact same thing.
Did you get Joe on?
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
I think a couple of months before his passing. And then I think a few days before his passing, his daughter reached out and said, Ben, I don't think he's going to make it. How's the progress? Joe is like to know before his passing. He's not doing so well. Don't know how long he's going to live that time. That was just a few days before his death. I said, I'm not even halfway yet, but let me do something for you. That day I went home. I stopped everything I did. I don't know. I don't care how important, because I don't know if he can live to see this, what I create for him. So I don't normally do this. Again, this is a book, not a video stuff, but because I have video captured just in case, not about that, but to build something up from there. So I took the video, I chopped it up really, just the part mainly for the fan, not for the public so much, but for the family, so that they can smile and laugh. Something, it's not just a wheel and money you live by, you pass on. It's a legacy, and the legacy is his personality, amazing, and what he achieved. So I put that, I compressed that, I gave it to them, and she told me the thing that motivated us, like, I'm so glad I freaking stopped everything for that, because when he showed, he was struggling in his bed, and he can't speak, but he smiled. Yeah. He heard. I don't know if he saw. I think he probably saw. I don't know if they didn't tell me that much detail. But yeah, he smiled. Everyone got emotional and laughed and smiled at the same time. I think I wasn't there, but he was so thankful and grateful that, Ben, I'm so glad you did this for me.
Amazing.
And I'm glad I did that. I didn't know the impact on me that much, but for me, I felt so happy he's get to see before his passing. So that's like, this is my fuel to keep going. It wasn't for the money. This project, I don't think I make money or anything like that. I'm going to reprint and stuff. But put that aside, I felt his quote, exactly what he just shared, was something, I can't remember the whole sentence. It was like a short sentence about, if I have a problem I can't fix, I go to bed early and I just sleep. And then next day, I'll figure things out. I'll figure things out the next day. Don't worry. I'll figure out anything. That is his daughter said, Dad, because the daughter was there or something. It's like, Dad, you always like, the problem, you just went to sleep. But that's his way of solving a problem, because the only way to solve a problem is step out from the box. And the only way to step out of the box is clear your mind.
Yeah, stop.
And just go to sleep.
Just remove yourself.
Go to sleep. And I do. And sometimes, like when I was studying, doing some stuff, in my sleep, my dream, I solve that problem sometimes because you sleep with that problem. But sometimes some people are good, like just totally shut down. I can't totally shut down, but there are times I could when you're so tired. But sleeping is the solution.
100%.
His way. So you can't solve sleep. I don't know how you sleep. You find your ways, maybe a bit more alcohol in you if it helps, but go to sleep. The next day will be a better day. Because
dude, if I want to sleep, I get stressed out.
Yeah.
My dad's exactly the same. Like as soon as we're stressed, we're literally like, it'll be 1 o'clock in the afternoon and I have a deadline for something that's at 3 o'clock and I'm like, I just need to sleep.
15 minutes, half an hour.
It's crazy what it does,
sleep. Just go to sleep but here's his next day because it's a bigger one. But for me, even a quick nap, it changed. Like I go to Perth a lot in the morning. Sometimes I'm so tired. It's like I slept in my car, turned on the aircon for 5. I put a set timer so I don't die and all that. So 15 minutes and all that. So and then when I wake up, I feel just refreshed. I'm another person right now, and my eyes not so red anymore. I'm like, I can now sleep and all that, even if it's a short time. But yeah, it shifted perspective. But standing out from the box is so important. Sleep is important. All these things. Why I share that also because I have met throughout my travel, meet some people, I interview some guys and women and all that, and I didn't know how serious mental health could get in terms of suicidal thoughts and all that until this person literally did in front of me. And I wasn't prepared for it. I don't know, Anyway, that's another story, another 1 hour long story. But put put that aside, I felt when people feel vulnerable, or people have maybe suicidal thoughts, or people go through really serious mental health thing, is my point of view, like hunger. You are hungry at a certain time, but when you're so hungry, your stomach growling, I just say it hurts, but after that you're fine for a while at least. Then you come back again. It from my point of view, I'm not a psychologist in any way, but my personal experience, not like went that deep, but I seen. I felt that you just need to pass that few minutes or few hours or few days, hopefully not few weeks or few months. But when you sleep through that 1 hour that you have serious thoughts, it's not that you solve a problem, but you open out another perspective and fight again. You live to fight again. Like, that's his quote, like, you're still alive to have a problem. A lot of people don't even have that opportunity to have the problem because they are not going anywhere or they're dead. So to have a problem is to remind you are still alive, to have hope, to have a fighting chance to do that. And to have a fighting chance is to sleep on it, clear your mind, start a blank canvas and start painting again. Yeah.
I think there's something there, I've had a handful of friends go through some interesting times in the past, like 12, 24 months.
Yeah.
And I find that, dude, I'm like an ex-speed skater with tattoos. Like, I don't know how to help people.
Yeah.
I talk to a lot of people and I really love engaging at a deep level about, what is this experience? What are we doing as humans, as men, as adults, as kids? What are we doing as business owners? But I don't know. I don't know. The one bit of advice that seems to ring true no matter what the situation is, whether you're in, famine, health, heartbreak, whatever it is be there.
Yeah. Be there. Yeah.
Be there.
That's it. Yeah.
If you can just sink into, you know what, Ben? I'm sad. Yeah. I'm sad and I don't know why, and my chest hurts and I want to sleep, but I want to be awake. I want to ride my bike, but I want to be in a dark room. I want it to rain, but I want the sun to be out, and I don't know.
Yes.
The best thing I can do is just be it.
Yeah.
Like be confused.
Yeah.
Be overwhelmed. Be sad. Because if I try and deflect that, and if I try and avoid that, that's there and it's waiting for me. And as soon as I have a good time, it's going to be like, but you didn't deal with this.
Yes.
And when I see, and like I think the thing that is probably the most prevalent in my mind when I talk about this is heartbreak.
Yeah.
When I see my friends that are grown men and they're crying on my shoulder, literally, it's like, man, you're meant to be sad.
Yes.
Your heart is broken.
You can let go, let it out. You need to.
This is it.
You need to,
And as a friend, like, here is the shoulder.
Yeah.
This is the one that you cry on. Yeah. Now is the time to cry.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, it's so interesting to see the before and after of that sentence, because I think when people accept the season that they're in and they let themselves be in that season, you're preparing yourself for the sun to come out again.
Yeah.
And you're also giving yourself permission to do exactly what you feel like you need to do. Because I'm sure you know as well, like when you need to cry, you need to cry.
Yeah.
And if you
hold back, it's not going to.
Dude, if you save that for later, you're just going to cry more.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
And you can't pick the time and place.
Dude, it's crazy.
You can, but you don't always do that.
Yeah. And I think that acceptance of season and letting that thing happen, that's where fucking salvation lies.
Yeah.
Like that's where you find out about yourself, like I go to this, it's funny actually, this kind of ties into the crappy relationship, but I was in this situation once with Dad very far away. Yeah. We do these big rides together on the Harleys, and we're super far away, and I was just somewhere between like in love and heartbroken and confused and all these things, and I was acting really irrationally, and it led to me having a real scene in front of people that I shouldn't have had a scene in front of people, And I remember in my mind, I was just like, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. And of course, what does that make you do? Cry more, And I'm with my superhero, with my dad, we're all tattooed and tough and Harleys and this and that. But I didn't have a choice in that moment.
You got no choice. You just need to save yourself.
And you know what? Yeah. A bigger version of me was hovering over me, pointing down saying, you ain't shit. Look at you, you're crying right now. That's who you are. You think you're this big, tough Harley rider. You're not shit.
Yeah.
And I think in that moment you realize, A, I'm not that. Yeah. And B, nobody's that.
Yes, nobody's that.
Nobody is
just
that.
Not seen that happen. Yeah.
And it's like then all of a sudden, especially my mates who I, you know, I don't put them on a pedestal, but I don't know about you. I love to see the best in people.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and I like to believe that my mates are superheroes in their own respect and whatever theme or fashion that is. Yeah. And then when you see them heartbroken, it makes them even better because you're like, you're not a superhero. You're human like I am.
Yeah.
And I know what it means to be human. And I know what it's like to be embarrassed in front of my dad crying about something that he doesn't even know is going on in my life. So here's a shoulder.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Like, man, that's the shit. That's what being a friend is.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
And it's hard to find friends like that. When you got it, that's where you know, obviously you treasure that. And I think it goes both ways. Like I could be with a stranger. And there was one time I was somewhere and I was feeling a bit down. And then this person sat in front of me, and it's total stranger, Starbucks. We just chat. And I thought that person thinks I've sometimes never told anyone before. Why? Because I never ever see you again. There's no judgment. There's no this. It doesn't matter and that person just became, in a way, know more about me than my best friend would within a day or a few hours, and that's it. And then we went our way. Doesn't matter, but funny that we still can contact after that because in a way become best friends in an hour. Yeah. That could take years and years to figure that out. And then I shared my story with another person I met after, and then she told me this, that Ben, I had this quote in on my mirror. I'm not going to share the quote or anything because it's hers, but something about time. All right, it's so hard. She knows it's something really powerful in there. So she looked at it every day for 2 years. Then she met me that day. I never met her before. It's like a expat group and all that. So I was there, or business group. I can't remember what was that, but just me and that person. That's it. At a cafe, just talking. I'm sharing my work. You know, hopefully get some work from there, stuff like that. Just pitching my ideas. But I didn't pitch any ideas that day. I don't know. I just felt that I needed to share something personal. And she told me that thing that she had in front of a mirror. And I answered her question that she had for 2 years. She thanked me so much. She said, Ben, thank you. What you taught me today, by not telling, by sharing your story, I got an answer to that. And that answer, like, I'm so grateful for that. And then the funny thing is, she said, that time I was in Europe. I think I was in for 2 months plus, I think. 2 months. And I think I met a person in Vienna. Yeah, it was in Vienna. And that was, I think, towards the middle part of my trip already. And then she said, Ben, how much is the trip? I'd like to pay for the whole trip. In my mind, I calculated, I don't know how much I spent, like 10 grand. I don't know how many grand. That's a lot of money because it's 2 months travel, plus the flights and all that. I said, no, just buy me a coffee. I'm fine. But she's so grateful. So she finds something to give me as like sort of a token of appreciation. I think whatever she gave, that is not that much money. And I'm happy that I can help someone. But the idea wasn't to help her. The idea was just to open up and share. And she shared. And you don't know who you will help unless you share. So sorry, a bit about talking about book now. That's why this One Bunbury book is all about. It's not a book that I create like, Ben have a book and it's about 100 inspiring people. No, it's not about that. It's about being seen at the right time, right place. It's being seen as sometimes like what you mentioned, distraction is no good. I said distraction is no good if it's not beneficial. If it's beneficial, it is good. So for me, sometimes I going through some hard times, I just cannot. I keep overthinking, replay the bad shit that happened again and again and again, replay. You need a distraction. The distraction could be fun. Distraction could be, check out this book. It is not say book to help you through. I don't need help. What do you think I need help? What do you think I'm weak? I'm sorry. No, it's nothing about. It's the One Bunbury book. The cover is interesting. Flick open. There's some nice artwork. Again, it takes your mind off. That's the first thing. It takes your mind off first to bring down some walls. Yeah. All right. Means you come back to it. And then the next step is to look at the quote. So my point of view, the book is not meant to be read on every pages. Because no one have the time to wait here, right? 5 minutes, 10 minutes. It's meant to open a certain page that speaks to you, stars align, give you that message. So the first thing is get attention that it is not a self-help book because people are like, oh, come on, I look weak holding this. No, it's not. It's about a beautiful book that maybe interests you, have a bit of hope. That looks pretty classy. That looks pretty nice and all that. In open it, damn, it is camouflaged as a nice book, but that quote it's broad enough, like what you shared your quote, some of the guys share a different quote, like Joe shared, I'll go to sleep at night. It's like, I got so much problem, maybe I should try sleeping. So he could sleep for 5 minutes at the lounge area and wake up, I got better. It's meant to distract first and then input what you can connect with. Yeah. And hopefully you think that is a sign. If that does, I know, go flip to page 97. There's 100 quotes there. Pick one that could help you save your own life or save someone else's life, or that's why you think, oh, it's so good, someone else needs some help, pass it on. Without showing it's a help book. But indirectly, it's not just motivation, it's how you see things, because inside there are parts that could help you. There are parts that could help me, actually. What they said, oh shit, I never think that way. So every interview that I did, I learned something that sometimes, I know that, but I didn't see it in that perspective. So this is what drives me to do more, is because I'm learning and getting inspired, as hopefully this book will inspire someone. Inspiring sounds like a broad word because inspire, but for me, it's about you don't know who you save. Because I don't know, I think I shared a story with you during my interview, and I said, when I was diagnosed with cancer, I was going through some crazy times. And I needed, some answers, and like, why me? And I realized that the answer is why not you? What made you so special? And all the racial things. And now I'm thankful and grateful it's me than my kids. To summarize that, and from then on, it sort of gave me an idea of sorry, I lost my chain of thought there because I was thinking a million things at once. 100 miles. I forgot where I'm going with this, but the point during that time was, why not you? Because I didn't want, to see my kids go through that. So become more thankful and grateful opens up my mind to another perspective of things. So now, how that helped me in a way is the book is sort of meant to distract. It's meant to have a project that I think it could, because it helped me, it could help others. And I felt that there's a lot of hidden things that you don't see. That's why when I interview a lot of people, I said, you could have a paragraph or 2 paragraphs. Can you shorten that? Because the more you write, the more people get lost. I heard a podcast on the way to Perth just yesterday, I think, or 2 days before. He said, for copywriters, every extra word you put in that thing, it costs you $100.
Yeah. I love that.
Cut it down. So no matter how amazing it looks like, cut it down. I had a lot of people came and said, can you cut it? Because the broader the quote is, the more people can connect with this. If it's a business quote that says how you achieve success, blah, 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 you buy a business book for that. I'm not a business person. I don't read that. But if you make it like a personal sort of a quote that is open-ended, sometimes it gets people thinking. Yeah. If they think it's a distraction,
right?
You need to be distracted by. So some quotes are not quotes. Some quotes are just like gets you thinking. Some question that gets you thinking. Said, oh wait, I never thought of that.
Yeah.
But it may not be a question to your answer, but a question that takes your mind off and start fresh. Then you slowly go back to your problem, but to take your mind off first. So that's where I am.
I think there's an interesting concept there. I'm learning how to sketch at the moment, and it's something that I've always sort of like, I can't do that. That's not me. And then you realize you can do anything that you practice over and over.
Yeah.
But the thing that I'm learning about sketching at the moment, it's not about what you do. It's about what you don't do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like at the moment I'm in the stage where like you just do something really rough, kind of create the shape and then like fill in the gaps, And then the step after that is like, well, what's everything that I don't have to do?
Yeah.
And you realize there's actually heaps that you don't have to do.
Yeah.
And that it allows the audience to look at it, and you're sort of giving them a job that their subconscious wants to do.
Yes.
And you're going, here is a general idea of this person or this cup or whatever I'm drawing, but you know what a person looks like.
Yeah.
And you know what a cup looks like.
Yeah.
And I feel like as something that I have practiced my entire life, and almost feels like another side of me is creative writing. Like I love creative writing, and it sort of has manifested into creative speaking and having conversations. It's sort of like, I don't know what you call it, sort of like dig up ideas and like help flesh them out by talking with other people who like to think.
It comes out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like teaching, you learn more.
I think the thing about, exactly right. You don't really know something until you have to teach it, right? Yeah. I think the the concept of creative writing for me in the beginning was I need to give the reader as much possible description about what's happening as possible.
Yeah.
But the problem is if you watch Titanic and I watch Titanic, we see two totally different movies based off our experience.
So many movies within a movie.
Right?
Yeah.
So then all of a sudden you go, well, if I'm trying to create this picture perfect scene through my words for the audience, but when I visually experience someone else's art visually, like it's a moving picture and I'm getting a different story to what Ben is, then how am I meant to create something that's replicated on writing for every reader?
Yes.
And this process then turns into like, well, let them tell the story.
Yes. Bring them a part of the journey.
Give them the skeleton.
Yes.
Let them be the muscles.
Yeah.
And then the little things where you really hit the spot, they're the nerves.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you realize that your job is not to fill the page with words.
Yes.
But to fill the page with a story with the least amount of words as possible.
Yes.
You know, like, and when, you know, I think the example or analogy or the thought exercise here, which we've explained, is this idea of you're trying to get a quote that is just something that these inspirational people, obviously for whatever reason, whether they've taken over the world or they've helped someone cross the road who's blind or whatever, and everything in between, they've done something that allows them to have this sort of title. And you're saying like, give me something that is just short, the least amount of words as possible, and it lets the reader interpret that in their point of their life to then
connect better.
To create this, I'm doing a lot with my hands and lots going on in my mind, but I feel like my words.
Should be. To have a bit more, just a bit more input. As we speak, I'm learning too. I say, I never thought of it this way. Now, this book or the book I'm doing is the book of keys. There's 100 set of keys here. Pick yours. Pick the key that open your door. I don't know which works for you, but there was one will work for you. You can, I'm sure one of them will get close to the door you like to open. Yeah. But this is the book of keys. So this is a book of gifts without making people feel, just like, funny story, someone walk in the hall, smell freaking bad. Come on, someone buy him a deodorant, right?
Yeah.
It's quite offensive to buy someone deodorant. Like, you smell bad. Use this spray, use this, right? You can't do that because it's just, you can't do that. I can't do that. But having said that, when you see someone needs help, you say, you need help. This is psychiatrist. Check her out. You should call her. It's like, wait, are you saying I'm weak? You say I need it. Do I? Like, they get defensive. But I said, this is not an artistic book.
Yeah.
Have a look. And I would have some local artists there, local writers, poems and all that. Look at that just to camouflage things and also give the space a breathing space. I think, I remember where I'm going with this earlier. Now, a lot of thoughts that we have, we can't breathe. We cannot breathe. We have so much going on. And if I bombard you with texts about story, about bragging rights and all that stuff, you give you more noise and you're more shut down. But if I give you a space to breathe within the book, breathe. Just that quote, just one image, look at the face, if it's telling you something, or it's distracting you with something, give you space to breathe. Now, one book with a full A4 page with one quote, or all the text, which will you take better?
One quote.
Because it leaves you with impact, it gives you space to breathe, and it gives you space to breathe and fill in the blanks to take yourself on your own journey. If I like the best advertising and Ogilvy and all that, I've seen some of that. The best ad is obvious but not given.
Yeah.
It's there, but you know the answer. You figure out that out. So you just took people along on a journey, or even puzzle quiz-ish kind of thing. You can play with that if you want to. But I felt some ads are so good, just one word, two words, and one image. And then you think how you want to see things. But they know you will see it this way, 99% of the time, this way. So they put it this way, they make you feel they're part of the journey. And that's the point of this book, in a way, to take people along on a journey in their own journey, but give them the key to do that. So every time people pass that, like keep buying it, that you can, once you're done, pass it on to someone who needs it, but not needs it, pass it on to someone who feel that, it could distract them for now. And from a distraction is the key to your answer. And going through that, every time, because I bought some quote books and all that, I bought a designer book. Some people look at, man, you're paying like $40 for a book this size and like 100 quotes. No, these are famous advertisers like, because I'm not a reader, I can't read, I just could not finish a chapter. It's not I don't know how to read, but I just can't. After a chapter, I fall asleep. If I chat with someone that is boring me within 5 seconds, I really can't take it. I lost the attention to anything like really short. I got short time to get my attention. Unless it's interesting, I can go on for hours.
Yeah.
All right. So, but having said that, this is important to make sure that, you attract them in such a short time like advertising does.
Yeah.
I think of everything as advertising in a billboard, like 2 seconds, 3 seconds, TikTok, 5 seconds. You need to get the attention first. No matter how good the content is, if you don't get attention, it's not going to be lifted out. You could be a Picasso here drawing amazing things, but no one knows about you.
Yeah.
How's it going to work?
It's so funny. I always go back to the analogy. You can have the best T-shirt brand in the world, but if people don't know about it, you're never going to sell a shirt.
You're never going to sell it. So you need to connect with people to make them feel they are part of the journey. And this is the part of the journey of 100 people in there. It's a part of the journey of the people who knows these people or the people who don't know them but felt that there's something about them. And going back to the book that I bought, he didn't explain to me how he got there. He said, this is the end result. A bit of a quote, a bit of a mention of where is this and all that. And how he got there with a quote. A quote. But then it gets you thinking, the gap gets you thinking rather than given, this is food, but guide you how to cook and all that. So, but you decide how to cook.
Yeah.
I gave you this, I gave you that. Now how I got that, you think.
Yeah.
It gets you thinking because it gives you a space for you to breathe and think and take a step back and see this. If I give you A equals B equals C and all that, it's just like, okay, what do I learn from this? You got lazy.
Yeah.
Not lazy, you don't think, but it always leave a gap. And that's what this book is all about, to give you gaps and breathing space to think. And now imagine this, if you're thinking about a quote, think about childhood and say, wait, yeah, it did happen to me. Yeah, I can relate to this. The next one, like, I am and this problem now, you just get me a solution.
Yeah.
And then all this, again, it started with distraction.
Right,
if you're still getting distracted, will your mind open up to this? Hell no. You get distracted. Oh, this is a cool book. Oh, good texture. Wait, why was it worried again earlier? Oh, yeah, I think I got a clash appointment. I don't know what I'm going to do, but yeah, it is good. So it takes your attention away. Like Joe would say, go to sleep. This book will be current, take the focus away. Not for long. You need to go back when time comes, but you just open up another door with all the keys you have. This is the book of keys.
It feels very much like I have a book called A Spiritual Guide to a Happy Life, maybe.
Yeah.
Have you heard of this book? No. So it's like the idea is it's just full of like prayers, quotes, Psalms. It's just like a Christian. Yeah. And the first page is just open up to where the book feels right, and this will apply to your day.
I like that.
I have never opened this book and not had it apply to a problem that I'm dealing with.
Yes.
It's like this book is just like, look, you are going to have everything happen to you.
Yeah.
Open this book, and if this doesn't apply to your day, then close it again and start again. But every time it's landed exactly where it's meant to. And the amount of times where it hasn't been a solution to the problem, but it's been a solution to the emotional journey that I'm on in that moment.
Yeah.
And being able to go like, okay, cool. I can at least take the next step now.
Yeah.
And it's funny because the first few times you do it, you're like, oh yeah, I got it from the Salvos.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I got that book. You'll just see what's going on in my life. I'm moving house soon. All right. And interesting. Yeah. Second time, oh yeah, I've got that book. Fifth time, you're like, I've got a problem. Where's the book?
Yeah.
And then the 20th time you do it and you go to the book and you open it up and you're like, how is this possible? And it's not like the quotes are broad strokes and could apply to any situation. Yeah. It's like they're oddly specific and they're always like correct.
Yeah.
And I just it's funny because I actually, I can see it on the bookshelf right now. I quite often, because I try to rotate through my books. I got books that I read the Bible every day. I got the daily shit. Yeah. But I try to go through a book sort of like a week to every 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And I always look at that and I have a smile. So I'm like, that thing has answers in it, and it's exciting. And it feels very much like that's what you're trying to build with this book of yours,
And,
the more I think about it, when it comes out, this table needs to have that book on it. It needs to be on this table, Just so we don't forget to bring this up, what is the date that people can expect this book to be available?
I'm thinking June, July at the moment.
2025,
hopefully
June, July.
sooner. This year, June, July, is because, a lot of things people don't know. I spoke to my printer and he said, Ben, I can't, because I met him a year ago. And I said, I can't believe you're doing this. I said, why? You have a lot of clients. I said, yeah, you are the only guy that we know that did everything yourself, literally. Most guys who come here with a book like this or similar to this size, they have a team of people. There's a company under them backing them. You are doing a lot. I say, hell yeah, I do the interview. First, I set out the lies, I set out the details, I set out the question I'm going to ask, and I don't know, I wing it until I get it. And then after that, and then I come up with the cover design, I come up with who in the market, I come up with the launch, I come up with so many things that I go do. And not forget to edit that photo is crazy. It takes like 100 portraits, but we need 100. I don't know. Like I said, I got anxiety. I probably shot 1,000 from it for one shot.
Yeah.
I need to go through every single shot every time to see, what connects with me, And that's just one, like 100. And to go through the selection and go through the backing and finance and get through funding and get through, how I'm going to sell it. Man, there's so much going on. And bear in mind, again, this I'm not making money from. So I need to do jobs that gets paid, which is what I love still. My film documentary, my photography, I still do that.
Yeah.
So how you balance things that, that I need to work on and the things that is supposed to be my side project just became my main project, but it's not paying the bills, but this is. So and don't get me wrong, I need this and I love this too.
Yeah.
Because all this is connecting. Because what I do makes me get better at this thing. So there's so many tiny details that I don't know what I don't know until I'm doing it. Like printing, I thought, okay, I'm going to print this texture, this like fabric texture, and then and I paid for it. Now I go and say, no, we don't. No, I thought it's this one because all the jargons I didn't know.
Yeah.
I like, why not emboss? Oh, emboss is, I thought I want emboss. You give me the emboss. Or why the ghost stamping wouldn't work here? Oh, now I have a problem. I show you the design I have. Unfortunately, I probably got to change that now because they can't do debossing that fine.
Oh, okay.
So I said, okay, then I look at the options. Like, if I increase the size of the font, can it do? Then I seen someone did calligraphy sort of thing, but not exactly the same. It's different. I don't know. It feels different now. It's not classy anymore when you enlarge the font. It's meant to be a pattern.
Yeah.
So you can't do that. But that's why other people can do. Why you can't do it? I don't know. I didn't get that far. I was like, okay, how can I redesign this so that your idea can happen, can be made? Now, a lot of us, I got ideas like, you say, okay, spine is black. I quite like the idea. So I asked them, I'm still waiting for answers. But it's a lot of things that you can have amazing, this is my dream thing. But in reality, it cannot be done, at least by them sometimes, or it can't be done in the industry, not heard of. Because sometimes I want to mix of this and that, it can't be done, or the cost went 3 times that it will affect. So, like I think Fiona DeGaris from Bragg, one of her quotes is, about art, art, what is it? But her quote is mainly on the performing art, but mine, in relation, what I learned from there, it's the art of compromise. What are you willing to compromise to make things happen but still good enough for you to accept and happy with it? You got this dream, unrealistic at times, especially creative, something like that. So how you make it acceptable, you can monetize that in a way, hopefully, and you can actually widely accepted by everyone. And most important, not just everyone, yourself.
Yeah.
If I come out the bestseller book that makes me hell of money, but I'm ashamed to live it up. No. I want something that I myself are proud to pick it up, and someone as a gift that say the Prime Minister came here, the mayor, whoever want to give to the, we are proud to give you this gift. That's my cover. Oh, I wish I do that better. Oh, the color could be better. What color should I use? Bunbury is like white, light blue, but what is that? It's green. And what is that about leaves? We don't do leaves. We do waves. We do dolphins.
Yeah.
All the story must be relevant, and it's killing me because I wasn't kidding, but there's so much going on. I need to plan all this, and I'm still doing it as we speak today. Later, and what I do is like what you do sometimes is like, when I can't find a solution, I distract by doing other works, editing other things. I'll get back to that. I get back to that. Each time I look back, hopefully a fresh mind, a new perspective. I said, I think I get, I need to, tone that down a bit, the creative side, but make it more doable. I was talking to Geordie about this process just recently. Sometimes, like to get better at designing, I need to design over and over and over and over and over and over again. And then other times, after I've got that, I need to step away from it for the design to come to me. Blank canvas, start again.
Now, you can't do step 2 if step 1 hasn't been done a million times.
You need to do that,
You know? And I think there's a really I may not come back to that point. I just wanted to bring that up because it felt relevant. I think what you and I do is very similar, except I get the privilege of getting to do it a million times to hone it in, but your projects are so significant that you actually get to do them once, but you have a lot of time to get it right.
Yeah.
Because
I wouldn't say a lot of time.
not a lot of time, but like this project is say 2 years old.
1 year.
1 year old.
Yeah.
And you're now at the point where you've kind of vision board everything. You've refined it down to, well, I know all the things that it isn't, and it could be one of these 10 things. And these 10 things are like this, and this element. When I put them together, it doesn't quite work.
Yeah.
You have that.
Yeah.
You know, when I got one of the first guests that I had on the podcast was the mayor.
Okay.
Right. And it was very exciting.
Yeah.
You know, I was in a very different environment,
and I was a proper setup.
I was recording on my phone, and it had an extension lead to a 2-way split into lapel mics.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. And I just got this phone, not this one, but the one before it, and it had portrait mode. Cinematic instead of the video.
Cinematic. Yeah. Okay.
And I was like, you know what? I'm going to record cinematic because it's the man.
Yeah.
And I put it on cinematic.
Yeah.
And I press record and I sit down. Now the big problem with this is when the phone, when you're in front of the phone, you're here and you press record and you go around there, you can't see if it's recording or not, right? Now more than once it stopped recording halfway through and it's all for nothing. But that didn't happen this time. You know what happened? It focused on the shit on the table instead of on us because it was in cinematic mode.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And I was heartbroken because I'm like, I got someone really cool on the podcast and I stuffed it up. But you know what I have never done again? I have never recorded in cinematic mode.
Yeah, that's a lesson you learned.
Right? And even...
It's not meant to be cinematic, this
dude,
thing.
No, it's just meant to be what it is.
Yeah, simplify it. Yeah.
Right up until yesterday, I've made all the mistakes, dude. I've done the whole thing and recorded the video and no audio the other way around.
I did that too.
You know, I've needed to piss 2 minutes into the podcast. I've forgot to tell people to talk into the mic and their audio sucks and mine doesn't. Gage, who's been on the podcast 4 times, seems to do it every time, not talking to the microphone. Yeah. And even yesterday, you know, I had Tom Dillon on the podcast.
Oh, Tom.
Right. Oh. And I'm watching the light go through his glasses and reflect in a weird way. I'm like, I need to lower that. I need to
fucking... so you got to fix it. Yeah.
Dude, I get to make all the stuff ups and continuously fix them.
Yeah.
And I feel like...
You learn from that.
You deserve the anxiety because you only get one chance to get this book right.
You can't stuff up. You know? Yeah. And it seemed like yours, you know, it is a learning process. The only difference is mine costs a lot of money to print, and I cannot let people down. And that's where I was like, would I let people down? Would I not? It's like, but the first level, the first stage is like, will I be proud of the product that I do, that I come up with? If I'm not proud myself, it's just like, no, I just need to get long, just get it done. No, I can't do it. Even if it goes a bit longer. I'm not going to do this again. I honestly, when I first started, I thought, okay, and I still would in a way. I didn't know it's going to be that hard. The hardest part wasn't the shooting, wasn't editing, design a book. Okay, it's not too hard. It's all right. The hardest part is to bring in the 100 people. You don't know how hard it takes to take. I don't know anyone. Well, not much, not many, at least because I work in Bunbury. But
I feel like you do now, though.
Oh yeah, because of this. But before that, I don't know anyone. Like, most of my clients are Perth, Margaret River, and I travel a lot last time. And my clientele industry is totally different. I reach the brides, the grooms, and I don't care how successful they are in their business. There's a dad of the bride that day, and I only know him as a dad. I don't know what business he ran. I don't know all that until the day I said, oh, he's a somebody, you know. But put that aside. I don't know. But my focus wasn't that. Wasn't corporate. Wasn't people. You know, who's who. To be honest, before this project, I didn't even know. You know, sorry, I'm don't really know much about things because I don't care. I didn't know who the mayor was.
Yeah, dude, of course.
Because it keep changing, right? I don't know, like, how long?
Yeah, what does a mayor do? This is the thing. Like, what does a mayor do? What are councillors? I didn't know any of this till I had to.
I was like, what? Okay, who is councillor? What does councillor? What? Like, why are they there? And wait, there's a Liberal, there's a Labour government. Like, who's who now? And I don't know anything. I don't know who's who. I don't know what's happening. But because of this project, I started to know one after another. Then I realized, oh, okay, now I started to know more. But before that, I really don't know anyone. So it's such a big learning process. And if I approach, say, Tom Dillon, I didn't know Tom until the project, and I didn't know Jason, the mayor, until the project. So because of the project, I need to reach out. But having said that, if I reach out to someone, it's like, oh, I have this project called One Bunbury project. I'm the guy who did it. I look at who is this Ben? Probably a scam. I messaged some because I got a direct contact. He didn't reply. I said, well, why didn't you reply? I said, oh, I thought it's a scam. Or it went to junk mail. It's like, oh, so high within 3 months for this. You didn't reply, so I thought you're not interested. And blah, blah, blah. But they are in, but they didn't know about it. Yeah. Then I start understanding how network is important. Then one led to another. Tom Dillon that you mentioned, he helped me to get a few guys in because they know a bit, but Tom backed me and said, I've done it. He's legit. You know, he's a real thing.
Dude, so I called Tom at 8 o'clock yesterday in the morning, and I'm like, hey, would you be interested in coming on the podcast? He goes, yeah, I'm available at 3. Yeah. The same day. Who does that? You know, I was like, yep, cool. I'm available at 3. Come around. Let's do it. You know, but what a legend. I actually said,
a legend.
Dude, I said I got Ben on tomorrow. He goes, oh yeah, I did his project. I said, yeah, I'm pretty sure you recommended me to him. He goes, I think I did. Come to think of it, I'm like, oh, what a fucking stud. Yeah, it's so good. Bunbury is a big and small place at the same time. It can be big if you don't know anyone, but then when you start to understand, the community that rallies around those, and I felt what I like about this. When I first started, there are some. I'm not going to mention them. There are some people who said, "This is not the way to do it. You should do it this way, this way, this way." I said, "No, I'm not doing this way." If you're not going to put in the money support because the way I do things this way, I'll find my way. Thank you so much. I'm not going to do your way because if you not, I didn't tell that person in the face, but I felt that there are things called evolution in a way that things that we no longer need to do. There's a shortcut to things. There are polls that you can do online. There are Uber drivers these days. There are this thing that we have, the scooter. There's a lot of new improvement that you no longer have to just walk unless you want to run because you like the running club. Do that. But there are ways to shorten the way because I am one person. If I got a team of 100, I can do that. I don't have the capacity to do that. I need to integrate what I'm capable of doing. Yeah. If I do what you do, I probably take 5 years. I'm not the guy to take 5 years. This project supposed to be 3 months, became 6, became 1 year. Yeah. All right. I make it short to give myself some panic stuff. Like I got to freaking do this today. Yeah, I'm 6 months, but I'm still constantly grinding and doing that. Yeah. But if I feel like a 5 years, it's okay. I know I do it next month. I got like 11 months to go, 12 months to go. No. I need done 3 months, became 6 months, fine. So sometimes it's good to be realistic, and I know that. But for me, because I need to trick my mind, like sometimes years ago, I got this traumatized childhood about parents being late because my parents can 5-6 hours late and I didn't know they're coming or not. They forgot their son, right? I was the only son that time, but I put that aside. I don't want people, I don't want to give myself, so much time to give myself excuse to say, take my time to do it. I need it to be done at a certain time. And it paces me quicker. All right. But having said that, I do know there are times that, it will take 1 year, but I like to trick my mind, trick my mind like my watch. I said, I know I'm going to wake up late, so I'm going to set my clock like 10 minutes early. Yeah. Then you suddenly, I got extra time. No. It's the same time. You just trick yourself. You feel that you got more time. And so all these things is the first thing is you understand how you work. Yep. And then you work with that benefit. And then apply that thing. Yeah. The other thing I'm going to share is like this One Bunbury project. It came when I was driving in Perth again. It's like, I need to do something that's purposeful, meaningful, but I really want to do it. I didn't do it because of money. I didn't do it because of fame. I do it because I want to do something that makes a difference that, like, I wouldn't say legacy, but something for myself that I feel proud to do. And something on top of that, I thought I was a photographer, filmmaker, and I still am to a certain extent. But my main thing is communicate and storytelling. That's what I like. Yeah. All right. And I don't have the patience to finish a book, so I think that will work. So that's why the book is so short, because I can't write shit and I don't want to write shit. Yeah. I leave you to write the shit. So all the amazing thing. So this is how I grew from that. But going back to that, so I thought of the idea and I went back. And like most guys, I think a lot of people, including myself, is that I think it's a good idea today. Then you wake up the next day. Come on, let's be real. You got shit to do. You got work to do. You got other things. You got no time for this. Why you put it on yourself? I know I'm going to be in the reality, kick in reality very quickly. I know that, and it happened to me many times. There are times I execute. There's sometimes I didn't plan. I know that night, tomorrow's going to happen. Yeah. So I send an email.
to a few guys.
Yeah.
Not going to mention who. They know who they are. And then I said, let's catch up. I got this project in mind. It's called a Bunbury project. And then literally the next day I'm like, oh, why did I send an email? Yeah. Why did I do that? Maybe I should
now you got to do it, dude.
Now I'm accountable now.
Yeah.
Now I'm accountable. So I went there. I shared with them the idea. I said, holy shit, that's so good. Let's do that. I'm like, okay, now I'm accountable to these guys now. And then I started building a committee of, I think, 40 people in the group and all that. And now I'm accountable to the whole group of people.
Yeah.
And I pitched the city of Bunbury and all that few guys and all that. And now accountable to so many more people now. So can I step back? Can I go rogue? Hell no.
No, you have to do it.
But I need that.
Yeah.
If not, I go rogue. I'm like, maybe 2 years, 3 years. No. I say something, I would try to do it. Obviously, I don't know why. I don't know. The industry of the book printing, the industry of this is all unknown of to me. So I'm learning as I go. Yes, it eventually take more time. And I didn't know that the most time-consuming thing is 100 people. Going back, I went really far. Going back, like the initial plan, and I still could do that, is one Bunbury is just a start, the homegrown, the ground zero for this to kickstart. All right. Then if it works, I'm going to hit one Perth, one Sydney, City, one Berlin, one Kuala Lumpur, one Singapore, one Los Angeles. I'm going cities rather than country. I felt it's better. So that was the plan. Now, after doing 100 Bunbury, like, how the hell can I go to one Melbourne and go in and out for the whole year? Then I'm going to fly, I'm going to neglect my family, move over to Melbourne just to do this project. It's not realistic. Not to say it's not going to be done, but maybe if I set up a structure, someone can take over. I don't know. That's the plan. All right. And then I realized that the destination, which is the book, and I realized the journey is way more interesting for me and for people, which is the film, which is the documentary, which is the interview that I did. Way, way, way more interesting than that. But this is a good summary to carry home. This is a good summary, the keys of keys, that the book that people can share with. So that is that. But I still, that is still the core thing. And this documentary will help tell more story and inspire more to know, actually that's where the story came from. Now, and then within the 100 interview, that is just like a small part of it, because I only have an hour or two to get to know that person to that. Yeah. But then I can grow that. Each one of them could be a way bigger interview on its own. Yeah. All right. And when I interview, they mention names, and I'll say your name came out, or this name came out, and then I follow that again. Then it's like I'm chasing after stories that are inspiring. Yeah. And it's not for just people; it's for myself too. I realize that, man, and I keep doing that. It takes my mind off of mundane work, regardless of how you love your job. And I love my job, taking photos. There are some clients who don't give you creative freedom, or there are some clients that, it's good money and all that, but then you felt you day in, day out doing the same thing, and you say, why am I doing this again? I mean, I love the money, don't get me wrong, and I'm sure you do too, but there are times that you feel, going back, I don't know, I told you about a story about time. Did I tell you a story about time, like how our life, we don't have a lot of time, you think you do? Oh, yeah, 75. Yeah. So you think you live to 75, half that, you got 30 years left if you live to 75. And if you don't wait in the queue and wait for someone to get ready and wait for food in restaurant for 10 years gone, you live like 25 years if you live to 75. Yeah. If you do the job you love. Yeah. All that. So it's like, man, you think a lot of times, I'm lucky if I have another 10 years of living the full life myself. Yeah. If I'm lucky. I doubt I'll have lucky of 10 years. They would have easily lost 5 years of waiting and thinking of the book and all that stuff. There's a lot of things that you didn't put in the stat. So just got to do it quicker and all that, and just to have a more I think going back to this is about something that means something to you. That what are you willing to exchange your time in your life for? Yeah, is it worth it? Yeah, well, this is living life as if life depends on it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and how you put out the words like that, because I got to tell the whole full story. Yeah, and you just put it in a quote. Yeah, and that's way more powerful. It gets people thinking, and that's where this is supposed to be. I think you mentioned a very interesting thing before. You said the side thing has now become your main thing, and you need to do the other thing to make you money. Yes. That is where we are very similar, because this does nothing but cost me time and money, this podcast, and this is what I love doing. Yeah. I love
I actually love the whole process. I love the conversation. I love editing. I love creating the clips. I love uploading. I love the interaction. I love walking around and people going like, I seen you talk to this person. You brought this up, and it's like, fuck yeah, we're doing it, you know? And then I'll finish this and I pack up and do the thing, and then I'm like, T-shirts, you know? No, like now I've got to go back to making money and doing the thing. But it's really cool that I think the cool part about that is, and like, again, going back to the conversation of like, I now know what I don't want to do as an occupation because I did that. Yeah. It's like, I still, as much as I have that thought, I now go, all right, projecting the next 5 years, let's find a way to make money off this.
Yes.
Because if I can make enough money doing this, then that means we enjoy doing it and it finances our life. Yeah. Oh my goodness. I mean, life is good. I work I live and work from home.
Yeah.
I make enough money to be to full-time employ myself and my missus, and you know, my mum and my dad have their roles in the business as well. Life is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we can always do better.
Yeah, we can do better.
You know?
Again, what are you exchanging your time in life for that? And then, you know, if 20 years ago you say, I need to do a podcast or interview someone for a living, it's like, come on, get a real job. Even,
what are you talking about?
Even photographers like, no, I know you're a photographer, but what do you do full time? I mean, this is my full time for the past 10 years. So people don't get it. Some people still don't get it. Look at Joe Rogan and interview presidents and all that stuff. Like, it's just a freaking podcast. You don't even have anything else but faces.
Yeah.
But it draws you in a good conversation and it inspires people. Some could be triggering, but that's the point, to get, you know, to trigger is to connect. Step one, then you go step two and all. So it could be something big. And like what I chatted with you before this, the guy that I shared, you start doing a lot of client business and you realize that you reach a point, this is my goal, just start doing it for yourself too. And not to say you should not be taking clients' job, but when you reach a certain level, a stage, you felt that I can do this. Like even printing shirts, I'm printing for myself because I got this brand that's like could do something with it and I can play. Yeah. So I use all my resources, all this you have, for that.
Yeah.
And then when that comes, you are free. You do whatever you want. You print whatever you want, and you can go more to printing even more because that's the dream. But you start by learning printing for clients and printing what works, what didn't work, and you still enjoy the designing process. You enjoy clients, happy clients, and all that. Like, oh, if they're happy, why are they happy? They're happy because you do it this way. Wait, I can learn from this. Wait, I can learn from that. And then you use the client experience to share with, not to share, but to use a certain concept or structure. It's like, I pick this, I pick that, and I put together, that's better one. So the client gets, the more clients you have, the more client benefits they get.
Yeah.
And for you too, and everyone wins.
It's wild when a client comes to you and they say, I want this particular garment and I want my logo and I want to do this. It's like, let me show you something and you let me know if this works for you. And you do something you know is going to work and you send them the mock-up and they're like, do that. And you're like, I know, that looks very cool, doesn't it? It's like, I know that because I've done this enough. The crazy thing is this started as a Black Ink being a clothing brand.
I didn't know that. So you went backwards and go back again.
Black Ink is a clothing brand. And I realized that by outsourcing the production, there's no money to be made. You have to sell 1,000 shirts to make $1,000 because there's no markup because you're paying someone else to make it. And then I'm like, all right, well, I'll make my own shirts. And you get into production and you do screen printing and you do this. And then all of a sudden I'm documenting all of this on Black Ink, the social media. Everyone's saying, oh, you can do shirts and hoodies and high-vis and this and that. Can you do ours? And you go where the money is. And all of a sudden I'm doing everyone's uniforms and everyone's merch packages, so much to the point that I don't make any Black Ink clothes anymore. Like, what the fuck happened, dude? You know? So I think it's interesting to like, when I look at my trajectory, it's like I'm now at a point where I see something, I'm like, ooh, I see that as a Black Ink shirt. I see that as this. And now it's actually funny that this is sort of kind of organically coming up. You mentioned before that you, at the beginning of your project, you were talking to financiers who wanted it done in a particular way and you decided not to do that. I've had 3 major forks in the road with my business where I've had big business come along and say, hey, we want to implement what you do inside of our business and we're going to give you a wage and this and that. And here's the rules.
Oh, yep. They always come with rules. Yes.
You go, hey, man,
it's fine.
I'm doing it right now for money where my clients pay me and there's no rules. You know? And the podcast is the same. Hey, we want to sponsor the podcast. Rather you not talk about this and this. Brother, take your money and shove it deep up your ass because I am doing it my way and I'll do it for free, my way, for as long as possible. And on top of that, do you know who actually sponsors this podcast? Who? Black Ink.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I have been nothing but putting money into this thing, sponsoring this podcast. Yeah. And now it's like it's creating awareness of the brand, right? Because it's called the Black Ink Podcast. Yeah. And I actually think instead of the podcast being a supplement to Black Ink, the brand, I think the brand is the podcast and the clothing is the merch.
Yeah. Exactly.
How interesting.
Yeah. But you need to go through all that to learn, how it's.
Yeah.
So it's a learning process, and I'm learning my process too, and how it should be done. And I do change a few things because sometimes being a creative, being realistic and being creative, you need a minimum. You could be the best painter in the world, but you don't know how to sell your artwork. It's not going to work. So you need to be a salesperson. That's why I feel the reason why I think I'm doing okay is not because I'm the most creative guy or not because I'm the best businessman. It's because I'm in the middle. I can connect both. I'm the bridge. So when you get the most creative artists, they can't even, whatever they say sometimes will not be right for the investor's ear. So you need to know what they want to hear. Then you need to be in the middle like a broker or something in between, but you are the one person that does all to understand how it works. So you understand how business works, and you do. And it's like a lot of people, motivating speaker, I get that, and I probably say the same thing. Follow your dreams, give out your work. No, don't give out your work. Get learning by working for someone first, either same industry or different, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You don't want to spend half your brain thinking about worrying about paying bills. You worry about, and then you got the time while they're funding you, while you're working hard for that company or the company that actually gives you creative freedom too. And then you can focus on it may take longer, but it's secure. I got friends who come in and say, I'm going to start this business. I'm going to put in $1 million in. I'm going to do that. Whoa. Have you tried in a small scale? Does it work?
Just one.
Just one.
Yeah.
Does it work? Because you're putting your life savings in something that you don't know in your visual. You think it'll work. But what if, for me, there's what ifs all the time. What if it doesn't work? What is your backup plan? Oh, I'm in debt for like that. Oh, okay. Maybe not do that yet. Try the smaller scale. Then invest a bit, like way less, and then figure out if even this is for you. Like, when you reach a certain age, you go through midlife crisis. A lot of people do. And I think I went through a certain point of time, or maybe I'm living it throughout I told my wife, I think I won't have midlife crisis because I'm living my midlife crisis every day. I'm doing the things that I feel that I want to do. I do it.
Yeah.
If it's wrong, I cut it out. There's no what if. I should have done that. Oh, when I was younger. No. I'm doing it. Yeah. I learn from this. I move on. So at least I got each one that I did wrong. I got more clarity. Yeah. You're crossing things out, like like what you mentioned. Everyone's child is different. Mine was really different. So I told my kids and my wife, like, I don't know how to be the best at. I don't know. But I know what not to do. Yeah. I'll start with that. Yeah.
I think you dude, you hit on so many things that I'm passionate about. Every time you talk, I'm like, which one do I want to focus on here? Yeah. It's great. I think actually, I'm going to leave that because I've got two questions that are bugging me, and I really want to make sure I ask you these.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
What has been, I imagine there's heaps more than one. Is there a standout moment with a person that you've met through this project, and especially their quote that resonates with you, that you've learned from, that you keep on going back to and going like, wow, that was amazing?
It is so hard to tell you one because there's a lot of good ones, but there's one person. I'm not going to mention names, but so you can buy the book. I have this thought, personal thought, that if someone would come to me and say, I can't take it anymore, I'm going to kill myself, I'm done. There's no reason for me to live. I have this much problems. I'm so depressed. I can't do anything. So I thought I've not spoken, I've not shared with anyone. I've not. It's just in me, just my thought, because of the people I met through the people depressed and self-harm in front of me, and a few other guys that I've spoken to that I learned from. I didn't share this, but this is the conclusion, the summary that came to my mind.
if someone would come to tell me this, or when I am in that position, how would you tell someone? Yes, you mentioned that, okay, someone, you kind of crying, sure they can cry that. Yes, after that, what's next? What's next? So this is my what's next. My what's next is like, okay, if you want to take your own life, take it. All right. But before that moment, just before that moment, sell every single thing you have that you have today, your car, your house, everything. Hopefully you get significant amount of money or a certain amount of money even, and take everything in a backpack, go travel the world with whatever money you have, go to the poorest country or go to country, third world country, or even go to first world country, doesn't matter. You got the money to do it. Just travel. Now travel until you're broke. Then you come back. All right. When you travel and see the world, you come back, and if you tell me after all that you still want to take your own life, I think it's time. You've seen the world. Do it. You live that life. But I wouldn't guarantee, but a very high chance you come back to me, you say a whole different story.
Yeah.
Thank God I'm alive. If he's not sitting in a hotel and ready to die, I mean, they go out and network and socialize and meet people,
do the thing,
and then see that how privileged you are. Sometimes you forget that you got limbs, you got parts of your body that you still have, that you're still walking, and you got food to eat, you got clean water to drink. You go to all the countries, good and bad and struggling countries. You go all that, not just go to all the go to the good ones too, to see and experience, and you live that life. You come back. Man, the more I experience, the more I want to experience. Suddenly, you got determination. You want to experience more of that.
You have a purpose.
Guess what? You forget about that time you want to take your life because you forget you are in the box so much. Now, what I'm sharing with you is during the interview, I spoke to this person, and I asked the person this question, or somehow we got to that. I don't know, because it got really personal a lot of times. And she told me about that. Shit, that's nearly word for word what I said. I didn't tell her that. She told her, like, I said, shit, that exactly. I didn't tell anyone. I really didn't tell anyone. It's in my mind because I don't know, it's sensitive to talk about, whatever. But man, I was like, I can't believe there are people who think exactly like me in that way. And not to say, I'm crazy. No, it's like in that structure. It's like, wow. It's just where I'm going. This also is like a lot of people connects with you, but you don't know to. And there's a lot of ways of doing things, but that is one of the things that stuck to me. That although I know that, but she said that it connects. It's just backed me up. Thinking maybe it's a right thing to talk about. Yeah. It's a right thing to consider when time comes. Like, not to say anyone should go through that, but if and when maybe I or someone goes through that, that could be something you could think about. But having said that, going back to the book concept. Step 1, distract yourself first. Take your mind off that. Start thinking of something else that truly matters to you or could matter to you. And then, not to say you solve it, you have not. Like Joe's way, you sleep on it. Literally sleep on it.
Yeah.
That is sleeping on it. And then you realize that, wait, thinking back, right, there's 100 quotes. Then you start thinking, actually, all the quotes in there goes back to one thing. I don't know what that is. Find out yourself. That's what I found out, is that how you want to tell your own story. So like I said, when I start sharing story about this person, about Joe, about Tom, about this, about that, I realize that, wait. They may say different things, but when you step out from the box, holy shit, I can see it now. It's like a puzzle being solved.
Yeah.
I can see the bigger picture that it all leads to one thing. What is the one thing, hence Bunbury? What is the one thing that
wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. This is almost like a cauldron of just a big amount of something spinning around. That's what this feels like.
Yeah.
It's like it's such a. I think the cool thing at the basis of it all, it feels inspirational.
Yeah.
Which is it's
that
one
is
of those.
The base level, but there's so many layers that I'm laying it. A lot of people don't see that.
Yeah.
But I'm constantly layering it. Yeah.
When I'm guessing that anyone who's survived this much of the podcast has probably got a little bit of interest in this book and when it comes out. What's the process between now and when the book is released? How do people find it?
Yeah.
What's the best way to attain it? Because you're only printing a limited amount of copies.
There's only 1,000, and more than half is already sold, pre-sold. Yep. So that leaves, I think, 400 plus left, and I think it'll go pretty quickly. The reason why, like I I practice what I preach. If I had to print 10,000, 20,000 copies, yes, I get a better price, I sell cheaper, I'll make more profit, but that's not what I do. I want to, you can have all the dreams you want, but what if you can't sell that much? And I got a lot of overthinking, but I want to test the water, because if this works, I said, okay, maybe, let's reprint in a different way. Let's improve things a bit. There's always ways to improve. Like even phones, with Apple, such a big company, they got bug releases, updates and all that because of security, because things could do better. There's no perfect product. It's how you keep improving it. But for me, it's what is doable. Yeah. If I were to print 10,000, I need more funding, I need more this. You guess what? This will be a 5 years project. Yeah. No. It needs to be 3 months, 6 months to 1 year now project. It needs to be done to a certain time frame to keep everyone's passion alive, and my passion alive to keep doing what I do. It's where you balance things. Like going back to the quote, what am I willing to change a bit to make it work? And this is one of the things. It's going to be just 1,000 copies, and so that it can be out there within a certain point of time rather than longer. So one Bunbury, Bunbury.com.au is a website you can go and have a look at. Now, unfortunately, it's not really updated yet. I'm still updating as I go. Yep. But you can purchase that in advance, or you can wait for it to launch. Hopefully by June and July, we may have a soft launch. And from there, hopefully everything will be... probably you can get it from the bookshop as well. I'll probably work with some, maybe the local bookshops, or maybe Amazon. I will plan with them and all that. I'll work on all that. Having said that, I'm a one-man show guy. I have a lot of people I work with, but they're not with me. They are supporting me.
Dude, I have a feeling it's not going to make it to bookshops. I have a feeling you're going to sell physically in front of yourself. You're going to sell those 1,000 books. That's what it feels like. That's what it feels like,
It may, and I like that. I was like, okay, now stage 2, it worked. So let's do stage 2. And again, if I were to stage 2, okay, how can I push further? How can I do better? How can I do, this is good, but I could do something. Again, the same concept, the layer and all that, it's all about the one. That's why going back to the title of the book, even the title of the book is a challenge, right?
Yeah, of course.
Because a lot of people say, it's a 100 book. It's a 100 inspiring people book. No. It's not about that. It's about unity, getting people together with a common goal. The one goal that you want. What is the one dream you like to have? What is the one a portrait, or what's the one moment that you like to be brought back? Simplify that so much. That's why it came out of one, and one could grow. So it could be one Bunbury stands above 100 inspiring people, and I have other projects and all that could grow. It's all draw from this one. Yeah. And the point of this book is, is to contribute to the cities, to the community and all that, to share wisdom from the 100 people. But the main, also, I wouldn't say the main thing, the other point is to put Bunbury on a map.
Of course.
So if this book gets out there, and I do intend to let it get out there, people will know, where's Bunbury again? Because when I travel for destination wedding, at times where are you from? I'm from Australia. Yeah, which part? I say Bunbury. Where?
Yeah, you got to go Perth to our
even
south.
Perth, people are where?
Yeah,
they know
some
Sydney.
people know Margaret River before Perth as well. Yeah.
So Bunbury's where? It's no. The way to put on the map is make it work first. To make it work first, like Bunbury. So now we know where Bunbury was. Say, for example, Kentucky Fried Chicken. Where is KFC from? Kentucky, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. You made that famous. You don't even need Kentucky KFC.
Yeah.
But where is K from? Kentucky. So where is this one Bunbury came from? Bunbury? Yeah. Or the one project came from? Bunbury. Yeah. So it helps put Bunbury on a map, but also the other side layer. I said there's so many layers behind it. One of the layers is to help promote the city of Bunbury. How it works is, I say a foreign investor came in, the prime minister of another country came and visit, you give them, it's like, wait a minute. When I drive past, I only saw a milk carton building, maybe at a silo, there's 2 buildings, right? Do we have the expertise and knowledge here? The book. Look at the book. We are hidden, uncut gem, uncut diamond, whatever you call it.
You have a wealth
that is not seen. All right? You want to be the first to take out this opportunity, or you want to wait for someone to make it famous first, then you take it out?
Yeah, exactly. Dude, I feel like you have a similar perception of Bunbury as a magical spot as what I do.
It is, yeah.
I have a lot of, I have a couple of mentors that I have to remind that I'm not trying to take over the world. I'm trying to take over Bunbury. And I mean that not in a political sense. I'm trying to take over Bunbury as in, let me make $10 million here before I make $100 million out there. And in actual fact, if I never have to go out there, if I can just, like, one of my sort of rules that I go to is I try and only deal with clients that I can personally deliver their products to. So if there's a problem, you talk to me. You don't talk to, me on the phone, or it doesn't have to, let's organize a Zoom. It's like, no. Let everyone be within reach. And if I can't reach them, then don't take them on as a client. And if there is that much business, there is that much that is possible right here, I really don't need to take over the world. I can just focus on here. And I feel like there's something intrinsically mutual there with what you're doing. You're saying, I can do one Perth, I can do one Sydney. It's like, actually, that's such a big thing that I would rather just do this again here.
It doesn't mean I wouldn't be doing that. It just means that I'll focus here.
Yeah.
And not to contradict you a bit on that side, because my way of doing things is a bit different. I still want to be out there. I still want to go around the world to remind myself how lucky I am here.
Oh, of course.
You forget.
Of course. So, I'm talking purely on a business sense. Personally,
And business too. So I open to everywhere. Yeah. Because if I focus on just one side, I can't grow. So I need bigger competition. I need to go out there and get smashed. I was like, you're small. Come on. Okay, I'll take you on. I'll do this. So, and then I fail, I'll succeed, whatever. I learn from this, I bring it back. So it's like, say, doing what I do. It's like I need to go out and fight a lot of wars and came back a bit more experienced. Like, you can be the king of this place, but then you don't know what's out there. So, but I like to put myself at risk because I like challenges. If it's too easy, okay, what makes it harder? So getting out there and pitching it to, say, even to start one Perth, or, like you say, aim for the moon and aim for the stars and hit the moon. So I can go say, okay, I like Berlin. I want to hit Berlin with one Berlin. Yeah. But to do that, I need to show what I can. This is what I've done. And I could sell the franchise or structure and works and all that. But again, the Kentucky Fried Chicken is all over the world.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah.
But you sell something really good that works first, and then you show the world what you can do. And we start putting everywhere again. Where's one Bunbury from? Yep. So I want to be out there in all the cities and all over the world to know. Wait a minute, where is it from originally? Bunbury. So everyone look at Bunbury as like, like we can have like the owner of Canva. I think she's from Perth. I think. Yeah. I don't know. She just made Perth famous.
Yeah.
See that? So you need to be out in the global stage to bring benefit to Bunbury.
Yeah.
All right. To push within Bunbury is step one. But then step two, I'm going straight out there. Now I have a product to prove.
Yeah.
This is the documentary. Hopefully, gets seen in the movie festival thing as well, and put that aside. And then the book. And then the book, hopefully, maybe play with it, make an art piece. I don't know, collaborate with that. There's so many ideas I can think of to work with that and keep going with that. And then, and because of the book, I need to speak in public, which I'm very afraid of doing, but that's what I have to do. It's things you do. So you go there and you start promoting the book, which is promoting Bunbury.
Yeah,
and that's why I come to you now. You said, what comes with, it's like, it's a circle that I get away from the merch, and now I'm the merch, but the merch also help promote the book. Yeah. That's the thing. The merch is not meant to be sold as making money, but meant to sold as an advertising material for the book.
Yeah, the walking billboard.
The walking billboard. Yeah. So it's like, instead of, it's like people walking up with a Nike shirt, with a whatever Holden shirt, so proud of it. It's like free advertising for them.
Yeah. And you paid $100 for it.
Why not do it? And then they are promoting the book indirectly. They're promoting Bunbury. And who is Bunbury? And when Bunbury gets a bit of name, more investors will come in. Hopefully that helps. And then to know that, it also to remind people, you don't have to be born in a big city like New York or London or Paris. No. You can be in the smallest place like Bunbury and grow something. So it inspires other people within Bunbury. Say, I never have the opportunity. I don't know, we're in Bunbury, you got nothing. You go to Perth, you go to Melbourne. Yes, you can do that. But if you make it in Bunbury to prove your concept works, not think big, but no execution. A lot of people got a lot of ideas, but few execute them. If you execute them and try and learn from it, doesn't work. Okay, if this doesn't work in Bunbury, of course it will not work in a big city. Yeah. Try it. This is a playing ground for the creatives. Do it.
Yeah, if you can't do wheelies slow, you can't do wheelies fast.
Yeah.
Right. This is my
last second question. Yeah. Sorry.
No. I love it. It's sometimes it's hard to get people going, and I don't have that problem with you at all.
Okay.
So obviously in this process, you're finding out what everyone else's quote is. The obvious question here is, what's your quote? I think I have your quote, by the way.
Yeah.
But I want to know, what do you think your quote is?
I have a few, funny. And I got asked a few times. I can't quote because there's too many in my mind. But the few that came to mind is, one of it is, that's why I talk about a shirt and all kind of thing. I don't get people thinking, and it have impact on me, is, why not you? That's it. Why not you? So there's a lot of things good and bad that happens to someone and people every time. Then you just got to think of that. Why me? Why not me? Why all these bad things must happen? Why not happen to you? If you don't go through that, if you don't get beat up for some reason for saying the wrong things, you won't learn to not say that shit again, right?
Yeah.
So it needs to happen to you because you need to learn that lesson. If you don't learn that lesson, not to say anything, but if I say towards that side, but if I didn't get cancer, I wouldn't be doing this. I wouldn't know you. I wouldn't even know who the mayor is. I wouldn't know what's happening in Bunbury. I don't know anything. I neglect my family. I do a lot of things, but because of that, it just brings me home, ground zero, and to understand, like, okay, what is important in my life now? Money, pay the bills, that's it. But what I want to do, what I really want to do. So a lot of people that's why doing the podcast, about doing my interview for One Bunbury, I asked them a lot of questions like, okay, when you retire, what are you going to do? I'm going to do this. So what are you stopping from doing now? Because I got this, they give themselves all the reasons. So that's why I asked one question. If you got all the money in the world, maybe not all, I give you someone, Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos, a lot of money, a tax deductor, whatever, give you $500 million, what would you do? I say, oh, gee, I don't know what to do now. See, exactly. Because you haven't even thought that far. You need to start with thinking that far first and work your way back.
Brother, do you remember the answer I gave you for that?
I can't remember, yeah.
I remember when I gave you the answer. You're like, no one's given me that answer before.
Yeah.
I said I'd give you the money back.
Yeah. You said that. And that was good because you know what you need and you already have what you need.
Yeah.
Because what you need is not sometimes monetary, and you do need monetary, but you know how to get there.
Yeah.
You look at things and life and as a journey, and you enjoy the journey. So I'm not going to, don't give me the shortcut to the destination.
Yeah.
Don't give me that flight.
If I keep doing the thing, that will happen. And by doing that for me, the thing won't.
And you learn. When you learn, you sustain the business better. If my dad, really rich dad, said, come, oh, you are my son, I'm going to give you this company that is already listed in the stock exchange and blah, blah, blah. You take over. It's like, oh, gee, you don't understand because you didn't work your way down all the way up. You didn't work that way. So you don't understand how the cleaner feels. You don't understand how the receptionist feels. You don't know anyone. I work from ground up. I door to door sales. I got scolded. I clean. I've done a lot of things.
Yeah.
So when I connect with people, I wouldn't say I understand, but I have so much more respect because I know what you do. I know what I did last time. So I learned to connect with people that way because I wasn't given that privilege to the destination with a flight. Even say, even when I travel, it's like, oh, I'm in Paris. I go to Eiffel Tower. People say, oh, take the Uber, poof, right there. It's like, well, I'm a stingy guy and I love the journey, so I'm going to walk there. Yeah. And I did. And I keep taking the wrong route because I'm bad with direction. Even GPS tell me left, I'll turn right. I was like, wait, there's an earlier left? Anyway, I didn't see a left. So anyway, I end up a lot to a dark alley. Didn't go well at times. I got nearly robbed a few times with my camera. I'd go all that. But man, that experience is so good. And I see that cafe is so, you take yourself back in time, not the cafes that tourists go, but the locals. When I was in Qatar, I think, somewhere in Middle East country, and there's a tourist area. And this area, somehow I ended up there. And then I could have went to the restaurant, eat what people would eat. I saw a long queue of locals, really, well-off guys, like labor workers there, or queuing up for this thing. And I'm curious, so I queue up there. I'm the only foreigner there in the whole place, not just that, the whole place. So when I reach there, I say in their language, that thing that you think I want that. I didn't even know you eat like that or you put something with it, but I see them take a stack of it and just walk away. It's like, I want that.
I want that.
I want that. It's like, then the guy's trying to help me. It's like, I'm like, okay. I don't even know how to pay. I don't know how much because I don't know because it's different. Yeah. So end up he look at me, just give me this. I'll give you this. I give you with this, and you go. So I just went. Everyone look at me like weird because
you're going. So you dip the bread in.
Yeah. So I was like, there's no dip. So I just ate, and it was good. Did I eat the right way? Hell no. I think they bring home, they dip with something.
Yeah.
But I add that, but still good because it's raw. It's not raw. I mean, you eat the taste as how it is. Like eating steak, you overcook that or put too much thing. You just want to eat the taste of certain things. You that is real. Like there's no noise. It's just it. So, I don't know where I go with this. How did I even go that far? What was the question again?
Dude, I love your style. The question was, what's your quote?
Okay. Going back to that, why not you was the thing. And the other thing is, I can't remember another quote that very much inspired me. It's not from someone, but it's a combination of some. I can't remember because it's just too many. But at the moment, it's why not you? Because I felt that it triggers a bit of new shift of perspective. Because you keep thinking this is just like my business and all that, how I try to get funding, you always think this is this, but actually that is a better solution.
Yeah.
You don't know what you don't know, but you try. So, and then even things happen to you, bad things happen to you, it's happened for a good reason in context.
Yeah.
If you understand the context. But if you don't open the door to even consider that, you will see things in a bad view all the time. Not to say it's good, but
you turn the light, that you're dimming it. You just keep dimming the light. That's what happens, you know. And it's like only when you go like, I can sit in this corner of the room and the light hits me better. You're like, the dimmer doesn't even matter, you know.
Yeah.
And you know.
Sorry. Yeah.
I've thought this a few times over this podcast, and it's not really relevant to any particular thing we've talked about, but I think it's relevant for the sake of the conversation. I've realized through the process of doing business, starting in a caravan with just like a laptop and a good idea. And a little bit of money, and then going from there to like a private rental and buying these bits of machinery that I've never used before, that I don't know how they work, but I just figure it out. And you go from being a clothing brand to being a print house, and then going to being like, you produce clothes, and now I'm a decorator, and I've gone through all these things. When I think about the core elements of what it took to do any of those things, they all relate to things that are completely unrelatable.
Yes.
Like the ability to build a system. I learned that from Hungry Jack's when I was 15.
Yeah.
The understanding that your clients is a list, and your business is only as valuable as your list generation and selling skills comes from the relationship that I had with the manager of Dome when I worked there.
Yes. Yeah.
My knowledge
relationship
of how a team works properly came from when I was a process operator at Iluka.
Yeah.
My discipline comes from when I was a skater in my teenage years. My understanding of knowing how to communicate with people and how to have a podcast came from listening to podcasts when I was a truck driver and going, if I had my own, this is what I would do. And this is the thing, like you go, Jake's only, people see me now 4, 5, 6 years into doing this, and they go, okay, he must have learned someone taught him how to do that.
Yeah.
And it's like, just like nobody taught you how to write a book.
No, I don't even know how to write a book.
Nobody told you.
I don't read books.
But then you go, well, I know how to take photos.
Yes.
I know how to extract, like you said at the start, your catching strength ability in the conversation.
That's it. Yes.
Right? You go, I know that.
Yes.
I know the photos. And I know that I got to take 100, not 10. And I know that to fucking know why a mare is valuable, that I have to understand what a mare does.
Yes, yeah.
And all of these things add up to the book.
Yeah.
Yeah, how fascinating is that?
It is a journey with so many layers that I wasn't expecting. I know what I'm getting into only to a certain extent, but the doors it opened for me, like what you say, for me, like learning about selling skills. I don't learn selling skills. I learn seeding skills. You seed. When I meet people for the first time, I randomly meet a lot of people because I like doing that. I never sell. I just share my stories.
Yeah.
And it builds connection if they want to buy in the future.
Yeah.
If they want to buy. But it's all about seeding. It's all about making connection. It's about building new friendships. Yeah. For me, it's about building friendships because friendship matters. So it's about seeding. So today, like how we end up talking and how we end up connecting in the first place. Someone, seeds are being planted everywhere, left and center, by someone else and by me and by you, and it just connects somehow. So it's about, if you think our life is like, oh, I want to close this deal, like, those days, the movie Always Be Closing, ABC, and all this motivation talk. There's this book, like, I don't know, like Sabri Yusuf, I don't know what he sell about. He's the top sales guy.
Like crazy.
Yeah, sell like crazy. I got that book. That's pretty good, but my point of view, it works for some. Yeah. It will not work for me because I don't sell. Like, when I put this aside, but similar to what we are doing here, I just wanted to buy a book because I heard a lot of good things about a book. Bear in mind, I don't read much, so it better be bloody good. So I heard about it, so I wanted to buy. I went to the website. Man, I just want to buy the freaking book. No, I don't know if you try to buy the book. Man, it makes it so hard to buy the book.
Yeah.
Press purchase. Okay, if you buy this, the upsell is crazy. You want to buy this? I was like, oh, no, I don't want to. But what of our course? If you don't get it, you don't get it. Like, oh my God, it keeps like, I don't know, 5 times. I just want to buy it. I gave up. I was like, just said, then finally I buy.
Then you read the book and it teaches you how to put the upsell in the sale to join the thing, and you don't get this value unless you do this and give me your email address and your firstborn son, and it gets out of control.
It works in the 90s, 80s, maybe 20s at times, but at this point of time, my point of view, I'm not a top salesperson because I never sell, at least that much, is to listen, is to understand what people need, then sell people what they don't need.
Yeah. What's the problem? And can I
What's
sell you
the problem? And like everyone knows, oh, you sell the solution. I don't even sell the solution. I tell you what I've done. I tell you what can be done, and you decide, like, would you like to work with me and get things done?
It's like I have a solution, and if you feel the solution is applicable to your problem, then here's what it costs to solve that problem. For me to do it for you.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, it's funny because I got this call from like a client the other day in the middle of a job.
Yeah.
And she's saying to me, she goes, I just before I ask you this, what's your feeling on competition? I said, what do you mean? She goes, your competition. I said, I don't have competition.
Yeah.
She goes, yeah, but no, like, someone who does what you do. I'm like, no one does what I do. Like
close.
On the surface, like, I make shirts, I print stickers, I do this. She goes, okay, good. Well, I just bought this same machine that I have, and I said, oh, okay, cool. What do you want to know? She goes, oh, well, I'm actually having this technical problem and this and that. And I spend 15 minutes telling her all the shit that it's taken me 4 years to learn. And I said, now, if you need any work, let me know because I've got too much.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But the thing is, you're not going to be able to do what I do because you haven't been doing it for 4 years and you're not me. And when you get good at doing what you're doing, I won't be your competition either.
Yeah.
That's not how it works.
Yeah.
Because, let's put a pause on that for a second. I had a really interesting scenario where I sat down with my direct competition, right? Before I got into what I'm doing right now, I was like, I think I'm going to do this. Yeah. So I went and sat down with the person who's the biggest head honcho in Bunbury of this industry. And I said, here's what I'm going to do. And he gave me the 90s response. He like cracked his knuckles. He sat back and he like laughed at me and he's like,
we have 40 years experience.
It's pretty tough. So what do you mean? He goes, industry's hard,
It's hard if you do not do it right.
I said, okay, what's easy? He goes, what do you mean? I said, well, you tell me what's easy in any industry, in any business, and I'll go do that.
Yeah.
And he goes,
Pointing in the right direction. Yeah.
He goes, good point. He goes, well, you know what? If you want to go do this, good luck. And my intention was, here's what I'm going to do. I actually offer something that you don't offer, and we could collaborate on this. And instead of this being me versus you, it could be me working under you
with you
for a constant fee, right?
Yeah.
And he said, oh, well, good luck. I hope you do really well.
Yeah.
And I fucking did, Ben.
Yeah.
And I did. Yeah. And now I've actually created such a sector of industry that I've created. I didn't replace anyone. I created it. It's like, look, we don't have a shop front where you can come and try shit on and all the rest. We actually offer a thing where you don't need to leave your office. You email me what you want. I'll bring you samples. If you like them, I come back in 2 weeks with your shit with your name on it. Yeah. And it turns out people really like that. And for the people who go, do you offer embroidery? No, go over here.
Yeah.
Is there something that I can try on? No, go over here,
Yeah, you can't do everything yourself. And it's good to have built partnership, The
result is I now have made this space for my business and my customers. And once a customer shops with me once, they seem to continuously shop with me. So that says that you're doing something right. Yeah. And in that context, I have no competition.
Yeah.
And if somebody wants to buy the same printers that I have and want to set up and do the exact same thing and promote themselves on Instagram and start a podcast and do everything that I've done, go right ahead, because you'll find that you will again create your own space. And that's what this is. This 90s mentality of like, oh, I own a burger shop and he owns a burger shop and I don't like him. It's like, brother, you're wasting your energy.
Yeah.
Make better burgers than he does.
Exactly.
Sell different fries.
Don't bring people standard lower. Don't lower people's standard.
Dude, what are we doing? You want to have a price war until you price war each other out of business? Like that's not what this is, you know? But anyway, I just want to say I'm absolutely busting for a piss, so we got to wrap this up.
Yep.
The quote that I thought was most applicable to you, because I've heard you say it a number of times, and I really like it. I don't know what I don't know. And I think that just highlights you perfectly, because you have this extreme acceptance that you're not the professional in the room until you are.
Yes.
And even when you are, you still have this space to learn.
Yeah.
And you create that space for yourself and the people around you. And I think what I said before earlier in the podcast, that vulnerability allows more vulnerability.
Yeah.
Like I remember walking into the room like, who's this guy? What are you doing? You know, and then 15 minutes later, I'm telling you this story about when I was a kid, and I'm like, oh, you motherfucker, you got me.
I got it.
You got me. And I like that.
I see you got a pack of t-shirts here. I had a pack of t-shirts for mine now, because I got quite a few guys or women and all that could hear a bit. So I didn't know it was going that way. It just went that way, and I realized that wait. I just asked, not because I want to get them in an emotional state. I just asked where the story came from.
Yeah.
To know that, again, you know the destination, you need to understand the journey. And to understand the journey, you open up and you share that people can connect with. If you give me bullshit, or if you make up something just optically sounds good, it's not gonna work for my project. Yeah. I want to know I don't want to know what you have achieved. It helps. Yes, you can share that. And I know that that's your destination. Now, let me work all the way back to understand where they came from. Because where you came from is what others could be at the moment to learn from.
Yeah.
And that's important. I don't know what I don't know. So that's why. And I slowly structure question as I go. I did have a card. So now I just, cards I may have 26 questions, 27 now, probably 30 or 40 now. I don't know. But I may stop at question 5.
And just
tell me more.
Go.
That's why I said I think I'm good at picking stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm only good at picking stuff because of the flaw that I have, which is no short attention span. So I said, whoa, this is good. And I got curiosity to want to know more. So all this flaw is a strength that you do, like what you talk about shirts and all that. Or, there's a competition. Yeah. And that's the thing. You can't compete with people with an excellent whatever they do.
Yeah.
But you got your weakness, which is your strength, to create a new league.
Yeah.
That no one's even there yet.
No one's thinking about it.
The thing is, nothing, from my point of view, nothing is so new anymore. There are a few things like that, but a lot of things are not new anymore. It's how you shift perspective. Again, this is how book gives you a shift perspective on how half cup full, half cup empty. How do you see things? You see the problem, or you see the solution? You see the opportunity, and if that's so, how do you make it that not just monetary value? How you enjoy the process of doing it? Because life is so freaking short. Yes, I'm not saying that you follow your passion and just for you need to pay the bills, but find a way to enjoy. Like I used to do a bit of corporate headshots. I also bought what if I bring my wedding vibe to the corporate headshots? And I did. I sat there. You experienced my one Bunbury interview. That is a sort of 10% of what I do for corporate headshots. They told me like 2 minutes. I took 15, 20 minutes. I dig deep in each one CEO of company and all that. And the point I'm trying to make is I can start with something that I don't want to get, because big firms, they don't want to get fired. Obviously, the one who hired me is like, Ben, we wanted something that had been done since the 80s and 90s and 20s, and this is what we've done. We just want to follow that. I said, yes, I'll do that. I'll do that. So you get a tick. But once I'm there, I was like, I'll do that first. Okay, I got that. Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, I'd like to know more about what you read. Why are you here?
Yeah.
And I got there, and then after that, I got all the candid fun that they are themselves not posing how they should look like in a suit.
Yeah.
Everyone loves that. And that's what I like to do. So you can tweak that. They say, who am I competing with? No one can do what I do because they didn't go through what I've gone through, but they do something better, maybe, something else, yes. But not the way I do it, because my journey is different. Everyone's journey is different. Our fingerprints are different. Fingerprints are brought to design and how you do things.
Yeah.
So that is how, if you know your weakness is your strength, then you just elevate that. Anyway, I think you need to go, so we can
No, my teeth are floating. We got to make this happen.
Okay.
So I'm going to put your contact details,
Thank you,
the website, in the description of everything, so people can find you.
Thank you.
I was going to ask if you have any departing words.
No, nothing.
I think we covered.
We cover a lot more than. Is it 2 hours?
Yeah, we're like 2 hours 20.
Okay.
No. We done what we came here to do, which is great.
Okay. All right.
So guys, if you want to find more of Ben, check him out in the description. Until then, be good to your mum, because we are out.